I do. Hello? What club? Hey man, I'm Kevin Smith, and if you're like me, you love oral, and you love hours of it, pulled long like taffy, right man? Well, I got lots of oral, because I've been recording podcasts since 2007. It's time to take the gloves off, ladies and gentlemen, and let you have a crack at it by joining that Kevin Smith Club. There's 4 tiers. You just want to hear my voice? Be a clerk. You want to hear my voice and see me? Be a mall rat. You want to get some merchandise like pins or scripts? Be a fun employee or a yoga hoser. It's a place where we're gonna park the entire Smarchive, man. All that shit's not exclusive enough. We got 3 more shows that are only gonna be going on at that Kevin Smith Club. The return of Plus One, the marital podcast that I did with Jennifer for years. Wake and Bake with Kev, that's right, a video show where every morning, whatever I'm doing while I'm smoking, man, you're gonna hang out with me. And then, of course, the exclusive Kevcast, man. That's the podcast of me just by myself, where I just kind of do my own self-therapy while you listen. Then there's video. We got hundreds of hours of unseen video. Are you even supposed to be here today? Well, find out by paying $5 a month to become a clerk. Get you access to ad-free podcasts. Plus, it lets you join that Kevin Smith Club Discuss board, man, where once a month we're gonna have a big old gathering. Now for $10 a month, man, you could be a mall rat. What do you get for being a mall rat? You get all the video shows, man. All the video and the video archive, and we got hundreds of hours of stuff that you're gonna be able to watch. For $15, little man, you can be a fun employee in that Kevin Smith Club. You'll get everything the clerk gets, everything the mall rat gets, plus you get 4 pins a year, man. They said I was crazy for making yoga hosers, so guess what? Our highest level is the yoga hoser. For $30, you get everything the clerk gets, everything the mall rat gets, everything the fun employee gets, plus 4 times a year, we're gonna send you an exclusive mini script. That's right, look at this script, man. This is the clerk script from second draft, January 1st, 1993, pen and ink revision, man. We're making a copy of this. You're gonna be able to have one. But if you can't join that Kevin Smith Club, don't worry about it. Smodcast, Hollywood Babylon, FatMan Beyond, they'll all still be free from now until the end of time. But if you wanna be involved in the least exclusive, most inclusive club on the net, join that Kevin Smith Club, man. Now's your chance to club Kevin Smith. Oh, welcome to another episode of FatMan Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey! Oh, I'll be honest with you, I've been reading the chat, getting roasted for that long-ass commercial. I ain't throwing anybody under the bus, kids, but there is a more compact version of that Kevin Smith Club commercial where I fillet the mic. But JC, God bless him, slipped in the Snyder cut version of that spot, just longer
and stronger.
Every shot was in there and shit like that. But I did appreciate like everyone going, well, I guess it's Pride Month in the comment section based on me filleting a microphone. Welcome back, kids. We took last week off selfishly, but we're back to serve the greater good, the public good. Discussing all the fucking things that matter, and let's be honest, Sweet Tooth. Holy fuck! Have you watched this Sweet Tooth yet?
Not yet. It only dropped yesterday.
Well, I'm on episode 6.
Jesus.
So it was tough to walk away to come do this. I'll be honest. Holy shit! It's one of those programs where you're like, why do I bother? Why am I trying to be in the same business? We'll talk about that in a bit, but fuck, magical. Speaking of magic, Mark.
Yes.
A lot of people, especially the younger generation, these Gen Z kids, Mark, they assume this happens for free, right? They're just used to getting free on the internet. Well, somebody's got to pay, Mark. The bill comes due.
The bill always comes due.
The bill always comes due.
Yes, Mordo.
So we're no different than others, man. We got to sing for our supper and stuff. And we're delighted that somebody provides us with supper that we can eat and then regurgitate to y'all like baby birds into your mouths. The metaphor went real awry, Mark.
No, but I dig it. It was a long ride, but I think it was worth it.
Point I'm getting at, we got a wonderful sponsor this week, kids. A sponsor that's making all of this possible. Because if there was no sponsor, me and Mark, we don't get out of bed for the requisite $1,000 per ad that one gets on the internet. Me and Mark have a rule. There's a ceiling and a floor, and that's where we live, right between the two of them and shit. So we thank the good folks at Manscaped. God knoweth how there are this many hairy-bushed men in the world, but Manscaped continues to advertise with us here on FatMan Beyond. They are this episode's, at least the first half, sponsor of FatMan Beyond. Manscaped, I'll be honest with you, Mark, I literally saw a tweet from somebody this week who's like, just ordered the Manscaped box. You guys are effective. So there are people out there who are taking this seriously. People who are hearing about having the needs to shear the sheep that they're keeping between their legs. Kids, as I speak, follow along at manscaped.com. That's where we want you to go, manscaped.com, because when you do that, you're going to get off 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code FATMAN20. Man, don't forget that it's Father's Day coming up, man. Don't forget that you came from your dad's balls, for heaven's sakes. A very salient point and a very, seminal point.
Indeed, as we disseminate more information.
Well done. Oh, shit, man. Keep coming with those jokes, Mark. This year, show your original home some love with Manscaped. The idea is here, it's Father's Day, kids. Father's Day is just around the corner, and your dad's nuts are just between his legs, man. You probably need a gift for a very hairy dad. Make your dad proud this year and get him and yourself while you're out there in the making, while in the process. Manscaped lawnmower, kids. 4.0. That's right. This is like an old Carson commercial where they can actually bring out the product. Like when Larry Sanders showed you the garden weasel. Look at this sleek ass box, man. Schwang. You think we're done? We're not done. There's a whole other level to this shit. Let's open it up. Twang. Okay. This is fresh out the box. It's fresh out the box, Mark. Let's see. If I was on the run, I needed to shear my nuts like fucking fast, and I just unboxed this bad boy.
Will it flip on?
Let's see.
Nice.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of her and his satisfaction, Mark. The vibrating trademark that is Manscaped, man.
I love that you're pitching the Lawnmower 4.0 as like getaway disguise gear. It's like, you're on the run. You're in a gas station bathroom. You got to be another person. Does it come with a charge?
And the first thing you need to do is shave your balls. That's where they look first. Like the ball hair is like a fingerprint, kids. They can track you down with that. Yeah. Look at it. It comes with all sorts of cool shit, man. There's a charger that you can stick that bad boy into. It's got different heads. So, in case you're like, I don't want to lose it all. I want to keep a nice layer. I want to look like Don Johnson back during Miami Vice. I want my balls to look Don Johnson cool.
Yeah. Or I want my balls to look like a Marine. High and tight.
Yes.
Buzz it up.
Comes with, I guess, a little bag. Oh, with a plug-in. You need that, right? Sooner or later, this bad boy's going to need energy, but not now. I opened up that box. I've had that box for 2 weeks, and she's ready to go, Mark. That's the good folks at Manscaped, because they know the moment you decide, you know what? Fuck, it is time to shave my nuts. You got to do it then. You can't give yourself time to think twice and be like, I've gone this far. Bullshit. Not when they got technology this fucking sweet, kids. Tell them what they're missing, Mark.
They are missing the fucking, like, the upgraded trimmer includes a multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It's a great feature. Dad, can I just take a pause to, like, it's a little weird that we're talking a lot about my dad's balls, but yeah, all right, let's just lay into it. The wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. So if you got to trim the bush coming out of the horse shack between your dad's legs or the bush coming out of his nose, the Lawnmower 4.0 can handle it. Ooh, he's doing it. Look at him. He's doing it.
I don't give a fuck. Good enough for my face, good enough for my nuts. Manscaped. I'm a damn man. Even if I really want to freak people out, I'd just start shaving the beard off, man. Like one time I had to take the beard off for Richard Kelly because I was in Southland Tales and I had to put prosthetics on my face. And I came home the next morning and the kid like screamed and cried, man. Like I went like this and then I was like, hi. And I had no facial hair. And she'd only ever seen me with facial hair. So she freaked the fuck out and whatnot.
That's how you know the Clark Kent eyeglasses disguise legit works, Absolutely. Which is you just take one thing off a dude's face and he's a completely different person.
Sidebar, my Andy McAlfresh, who I do education with, we all know and love Andy. Andy pointed out today we were having a discussion about something. Scarlet Pimpernel in the Dumas novel, does he change his appearance with a mask or is he literally just put the dimple?
The beauty mark.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. He does the beauty mark is what separates him from his other identity. But does he put on a mask? Is he technically like the first costumed Avenger? He does have a dual identity.
He does. I don't know. Well, no, Dumas was writing in like the mid 1800s, and I'm not entirely sure when Zorro was written or the first sort of folk tales about Zorro.
Hey, Banff boy. Boy, we could use a little fucking producing around here. He's looking for his he found his special effect. I saw him skittering at his fucking keyboard going, I gotta pull up that cool cartoon. I'm glad you did. Banff boy, do us a favor. Look up Scarlet Pimpernel and Zorro and see which one came first. Meantime, we'll finish up our ad, man. The good folks at Manscaped, ladies and gentlemen, they're there for your nuts. And you, like you saw, you could use it on a face. Mark uses it on his head.
Yeah, look how fucking fresh and so clean my head is. Manscaped.
Shear your skull, shear your scrotum. Take to them both, ladies and gentlemen, with Manscaped. I showed you the Lawnmower 4.0. What fucking more do you want, man? You're not convinced? Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FATMAN20 at manscaped.com, man. That's 20% off for free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code FATMAN20 all together at once. We thank good folks at Manscaped for having the shorn balls to sponsor this fucking show.
Sheer brilliance.
I mean, God, what an age of wonder we live in where we can have a show of our own where nobody's really in charge with the exception of fucking Banff boy who can pull us off the air. He's kind of like the head of the network for us.
He really is.
But not only that, but like when it comes time to pay the bills, like, Walter Cronkite and shit, when he was doing the news, it was like, what is the commercial for? God damn it, I'm a whore. Like it was probably stuff he had to follow or even fucking like read for that he was like, we get to read for cool shit. Like, this is a product that shaves your balls. It's so on brand. I love the good folks at Manscaped.
Totally. Cronkite's got a big Ford Galaxy, the brand new four-door sedan from the good folks at Ford. Take you from place to place in style. And we'll keep your balls clean. Clean your balls.
That's fucking Idris Elba believable right there.
Alice.
All right, man. How are you?
Bam.
Bam Boy's back with a little information. Here we go.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Scarlet Pimpernel is 1905.
Ooh.
Zorro, 1919. These were the books.
The Zorro one like makes more sense to me. I would have thought fucking like Alexander Dumas was earlier than that or later.
Well, I don't think Dumas did Scarlet Pimpernel. I think
Who did it?
It was written by Baroness Orczy, a lady.
Ooh.
Published in 1905 after her stage play of the same name enjoyed a long run in London, having opened in 1903.
Wait, so she created the character of the Scarlet Pimpernel?
She created the the book and the play.
Welcome to Wikipedia Beyond. I'm your host, Kevin.
How fast can JC read shit from the internet?
Is that true?
That's
I know
what it says.
Alexander Dumas did the Three Musketeers, so I'm probably confusing the two. Or actually, you know what? I'm just regurgitating false information that Andy fed me today. He said Dumas, that dumbass.
The movie also beat Zorro. Well, sort of beat Zorro. The TV movie of the Scarlet Pimpernel was 1982. The Antonio Banderas Zorro was 1998, even though there was the 1957 Zorro as well.
And the 81 Zorro the Gay Blade.
With George Hamilton.
Indeed.
A lot of kids of the 70s and 80s, their first exposure to
mine, for sure. Because not only is he Don Diego de la Vega, the dashing young California nobleman, he's also Bunny Wigglesworth, his distant, it's a cousin. I don't think it's his twin brother. I think it's like a cousin who, when Don Diego like breaks his leg, but California needs a Zorro, he calls on his cousin Bunny Wigglesworth to fill in, and adventures ensue. Delightfully colorful adventures ensue. Happy Pride Month, you guys.
A movie that only some people could make today. It could definitely be made, but I doubt the people who made it then are the people that could make it today. If you follow.
No. Yeah, it's a very tight fucking needle you gotta thread.
But it could be rebooted, and it should be rebooted by, you know, like a gay director and a gay cast, like, because it was a fun concept and a fun movie.
Yeah, and you know, George Hamilton can still be like the bad guy because he's still alive.
Somewhere in the background. The Scarlet Pimpernel is not to be confused with Daffy Duck's Scarlet Pumpernickel. If I remember correctly, was he the one, or was it Sylvester? No, I think it was Daffy.
It's
Duck.
Daffy.
So wait, Banff Boy, do us a good service here, man. Like, did the lady who's the lady who created Scarlet Pimpernel?
The Baroness Orczy, Orczy.
And it's literally, read us the top of her entry. Does it say like she created this character?
Let's see. Baroness Emma Orczy. She, let's see. Hungarian-born British novelist and playwright. Best known for her series of novels featuring the Scarlet Pimpernel, the alter ego of Sir Percy Blakeney, a wealthy English FOP who turns into a quick-thinking escape artist.
That's called fop. That term is fop, yeah. But wait, a wealthy fop, aka Bruce Wayne, turns into what?
A quick-thinking escape artist in order to save French aristocrats from Madame Guillotine during the French Revolution, establishing the hero with a secret identity in pop culture. It's right there on Wikipedia. It must be true.
That's the first one then, right? Like, that's the first dual identity. And it was created by a lady? What's this lady's name who's been unsung?
Baroness Emma Orczy.
And she's got a fucking comic book name.
She's the Baroness.
Yes. Wow, man, that's pretty hot. Why aren't we making that movie? Fuck all this, all these other day jobs we got. Let's go make a documentary about her and get her life rights. Then we do the biopic as well. The lady who created Batman, kinda. That's how we sell it. I mean, maybe that title's long.
I'd like to see that on the spine of the Blu-ray. The lady who created Batman, kinda.
I would like to see Warner Brothers' reaction to the whole affair as well. But that's nuts. They don't teach that. I've never heard that before. I'm a big comic book fan. Fuck. Yeah. You know what, kids? You come to FatMan Beyond to learn shit. Granted, you know,
a couple of middle-aged dudes discover some shit.
And to be fair, like, you know, we are nowhere. Nobody is ever near the caliber of something as important as like Watchmen, exposing like most of the world to the Tulsa Massacre, having never heard of it prior to that. But I would like to think, Mark, tonight we expose some people to the fact that a lady created the archetype upon which all of the fandom toxicity is based.
Indeed. The founding principle of superherodom is the secret identity, a very concept created by a turn-of-the-century writer named Emma Orsi.
I just hope that all the comic book websites that normally pull stories from us pull that story, Mark.
Indeed.
They're like, bro, that's an old story. It's on Wikipedia. It's part of history. I didn't know it, though. That's crazy to me. Not crazy like, how could it be? A woman could never do these things. But how come, like, it's never come up before? It's just never occurred to me. The archetype for, she was Hungarian? Banff-man? Banff-man, if I call you Banff-man, will you get in here quicker?
Apparently not. Let's see.
Please,
Hungarian-born British novelist.
So Hungarian-born, but does that mean she might have been born there and then come to America
and then moved? Yeah, that's what it seems.
Who published those books? Because that sounds very French. I mean, it's set during the French Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Initial publication. It says it was the original play was produced and adapted and opened October 15th, 1903. Who published the book? I don't have a publisher. There's a lot of them, though. There's Scarlet Pimpernel, and then I Will Repay in 1906, The Elusive Pimpernel in 1908, El Dorado in 19... This is like the MCU. We could go here and roll for 20 years.
Is that right? What, they got a lot of characters?
There's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books, 2 short story collections. There's a lot.
And if they got a Scarlet Pimpernel, they're definitely going to have like the fucking Yellow Pimpernel, the evil.
Well, no, dude, there's a whole league of the Scarlet Pimpernel that had 19 different members in it.
So like Zorro passes the mantle down?
Or he's got a fucking super team of like Sir Andrew Fawkes is the second in command, Lord Anthony Dewhurst, Lord Edward Hastings, Lord John Bathurst, Lord Stomeries, Sir Edward Mackenzie, Lord Saint Denis, Sir Richard.
But all of them having held the title of Scarlet Pimpernel?
It's unclear, or it's just like the fucking Avengers. Like there's your one Captain America, and then there's like 15 other people who are helping do the work of the Pimpernel.
Because this shit is what is it called? Public domain, right? Like
probably
we can build a pumpernickel universe. Mark, tasty pumpernickel universe.
Some whole wheat. We got some sourdough.
Get all the breads in, and we'll make all the breads. Yeah, man. Somebody should be jumping on this Pimpernel. Shit.
And we are now going to have JC pull the last 10 minutes out of this podcast. And we just say, the Scarlet Pimpernel. That was cool, right?
Yeah. Hey, kids, you didn't hear anything. That's crazy, man. Like, fuck. I would at least like to see a documentary about that. About the woman, one more time, the Baroness
Emma Orsi.
The Baroness Orsi. Like, fuck if that don't sound like a comic book name right there.
I mean, she invented the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 120 years ago.
Wow. And the Justice League. And
the
just the archetype of somebody putting on a mask and fucking like doing it. Wow.
But when was
somebody pointed out Tarzan?
Phantom of the Opera.
They said Boohoo the Third in chat said Tarzan was 1914, not so dissimilar.
He doesn't wear a costume.
Yeah, I would, and he doesn't really have a dual identity. Yes, he has another name, in as much as he wasn't born with the name Tarzan, as little Lord Greystoke or whatever the fuck. But like, it's not like he's like, I call myself Tarzan so that they don't know at the zoo that I'm the protector of elephants. Like, it's just who he is. So he's a hero, I guess, but like, I don't think of him as a superhero. You?
Not really. Phantom of the Opera was.
You can already tell this is gonna be one of those 3-hour shows. We haven't even fucking started, and we're like, you think Tarzan's a superhero? I don't know.
It's like, no, there's no secret identity. He's just always fucking Tarzan.
And you know what, kids? If you think Tarzan is a superhero, Tarzan is a superhero.
Except
I
he's
have a
not.
very limited view of what superheroes are sometimes, and that's generally involves costumes and capes, but it takes all kinds, even, the dude who is Tarzan. I mean, what I'm like,
I mean, he's Jungle
hero?
Batman, right?
what is it?
He's like Jungle Batman.
Yeah, he is. I mean, thank you. Well, once you put it into that terms, now it's cool again for me. I'm like, Uncle Batman. Holy shit. Why aren't we fucking go look him up, Bamf, man? Maybe we can make a movie about him as well. This Scarlet Pimpernel, what about Tarzan? Isn't he public domain yet?
Probably Disney will have a claim to Tarzan in some fashion because of their movie. But yeah. I mean, Phantom of the Opera wears a mask, which is the only reason I brought him up.
Yeah, but you don't count. He's just a bad guy.
But
A
he's
man is horned. He's a villain. Like, that's a super villain story, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, the first Tarzan is 1912.
Falling down the rabbit hole of whether or not fucking Tarzan counts. He counts. The Scarlet Pimpernel's capturing my imagination. The Baroness
Orzi.
That part I can't remember.
Just the Baroness. Just hold on to the Baroness.
Yeah, the Baroness. And her first name was Emma, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like Emma Frost. I probably will go out in the future and be like, the Baroness Emma Frost created the and people will be like, this fucking dumbass. Can't believe he does a show. All right. Let's
how you doing? What are you up to?
I have been this week was, let's see. On Thursday, I did a bunch of press, like press junket for a little show that you and I are familiar with entitled Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Yes.
So we shot some stuff, a lot of social stuff to feed up into the streams and whatnot. Some like cool breakdowns of the scenes and stuff. And then I did a bunch of press for, honestly, let me see, it started 4 hours of press, like a bunch of one-on-ones, but then also roundtables. And it went longer. We were supposed to be done at 3 and we went to like 6, I think. But that's because, not because a bunch of people were like, let me tell you how much this fucking blows. It's easy to sit there for hours and do press because the enthusiasm was enormous. Like it was wonderful. It's being received. I'm not supposed to talk about shit, but oh my God, like it's working the way I hoped that. So that was absolutely lovely. And so people are going to start seeing a lot of that stuff this week, particularly. Now, people have seen some images from our Masters of the Universe show, but this week, pay attention to Netflix. Jesus, I'm going to get fired. Netflix Geeked, ladies and gentlemen, because it's Geeked Week. And they're going to show a bunch of shit, man. Like they showed in their little preview grid all the shows that they're going to do stuff for. One of them, Sandman, which like I was like, the fuck already? Like, oh shit. So who knows what we're going to see there. I know what we're going to see from Masters.
Yeah.
And it is phenomenal. Mark's seen it too. Good time. So that's this week for Netflix Geeked. Get ready if you care about this Motu stuff. The cool kids call it Motu. Masters of the Universe Revelation. Keep an eye out this week because this week's gonna get geeked. Netflix Geeked. Not a sponsor, just friends. So I did a bunch of press for that and put plans in place for we're going to open up our Smod Castle back in New Jersey. That's in the same building as the Quick Stop in Leonardo. Because looks like I'm going to be back east for most of the summer and in New Jersey. And so I did some planning for that and whatnot. And I tried to get out to see A Quiet Place 2 because I heard so many great things about it, and about like from people who were like, I went to see it in the theater for the first time in over a year. And so I was getting pumped to do that, but we never quite made it out there. But then it was like all about Sweet Tooth, which is just beautiful. It's, you know, remember when the Where the Wild Things Are trailer came out and you were like, this is going to be the greatest film ever made and shit. And it was insanely well done, but like, you know, the trailer was fucking absolutely genius. This like when I saw the trailer for this, it like broke my heart and shit. And then I was like, we'll see. It is beautiful, poetic, lyrical. It's I don't know who it's for, but it's definitely for me. I hope kids be smart enough to get into it, like kids. I'm not saying like kids are dumb, but it's just like it is, you know, I think it plays more heart-achingly beautiful for the older you are, because it's kind of a story of childhood as well, and adventure, and you know, watching the world open up in front of you, losing your parents. I'm gonna get fucking emotional talking about it. I've been crying for hours watching this beautiful show that made me doubt myself as a fucking entertainer. The kid's great. Everybody in the cast great. The guy who plays Big Man is great. The girl who plays Bear is great. I never read Jeff Lemire's comic book, and I'm almost glad that I didn't, because like it's a complete fucking discovery, this Netflix version of it. But holy shit, how wonderfully inventive and yet familiar at the same time. It's not like we're, you know, holy shit, I've never seen anything like this, but you haven't seen anything like it at the same time. It takes a lot of pieces of our childhood and kind of stitches them together. There are elements of like Peter Pan, of course, and with the Lost Boys, when he comes across this community of, you know, these kids that are like, you know, fucking done with adults and, you know, are there for the hybrids. It comes down to, as we've seen in the trailer a zillion times, like it's crazy, like prescient. I don't know when they started shooting this fucker, but there's so much about the virus and the quarantine and people wearing masks, and like it's insane as you're watching it, going like, wait a second, this has been going on for the last year. They had to have started shooting this prior to the quarantine, and maybe when quarantine kind of loosened up, they leaned into it more, because there's at one point he rides a horse into town, one of the characters, the doctor, and he hitches the horse to a post, and there's a sign that says like, you must remain 6 feet apart. And you get this like fucking creep in your chest where you're like, is this like, oh my God, man. And then you realize, like, I don't know if they did it in the source material, but like Jeff Lemire's book's been out for a while, DC comic book. It's one of the best things to come out of DC in a long time. Like, not saying like everything else they do is crap, but it is top notch, right out, you know, out the door, like elevates their game, something they haven't like done before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're used to doing the same thing over and over again. You know, we have to be very careful how we talk around here, Mark. I'm just saying this is a new shade that they're showing us, and heretofore unseen, but you can do more of this. There's so many titles in, you know, the DC house that aren't necessarily just superhero oriented and stuff. Remember, they had Vertigo for years and years. So Netflix, God bless them, seems to be rating, you know, DC for all the fucking stuff that I don't know why this wouldn't have been on like HBO Max. Maybe they started making it or made a deal before HBO Max existed, but because it's a Warner Brothers show, they got the Warner Brothers shield right up front each and every time. But, you know, now Netflix has that, and Netflix also has Sandman, two shows that are like, you know, big DC comic books, and two comic book properties that are incredibly different than DC is known for heretofore on the, you know, cinematically or even like in the world of their streaming and stuff. So beautiful elegy, pan to youth, or pan if you like. Very moving, and I got 3 episodes left, so when we're done doing this, that's what I'm going to be doing. Watching all the Sweet Tooth and bawling my eyes out. I have no idea where it's going, if it's one season only, if they'll do it again, but like Robert Downey Jr. and his wife are producers on it. It's perfection. Give it a spin, kids. It's so imaginative and so beautiful. So beautifully shot, fucking incredibly shot. You know, I don't know where they did most of it, but big wide open spaces. And you know, the story about the collapse of things, as we've seen before, like, you know, there are elements of it that call to mind The Walking Dead and stuff in terms of like, oh my God, the whole world has collapsed. But I've never quite seen this version of a societal collapse story that's also filled with so much hope and wonder at the same time. I think the guy who plays the bad guy, the general or whatever, was the actor who was in one of my episodes of The Flash, who played the Thinker. Showed up in the last 2 episodes I watched, but it's fantastic stuff. I hope like kids get into this. I don't know. Like I have no idea. Like I know my kid would get into it, but she's like, I'm going to be 22 this month.
Right.
But I wonder if a 5-6-year-old would watch this and be captured by it. I hope so. I know honestly that I would have when I was age 6. Sorry, Cottonmouth. Because I was like a soft kid. They were always like, he's a soft boy. And then they said he's getting softer. And then they said he's a round boy. So I went for shit like this at a young age. I was nostalgic and sentimental before I was old enough to know what those words meant. But I'm curious, like I got to ask some people with kids if the kids get into it, because it's so, like, I didn't know how to describe it. Jennifer was going like, what is this? Is it a kid show? And I'm like, well, it's got a kid in it. So you would think it's a kid show, but you know, it's dealing with some headier issues and hardier issues than, you know, the average kid show. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe kids are more grown up at this point, but fucking wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I think you'll dig it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I got to hear what you think. I think it's very special. One of those that's going to get a bunch of award nominations, if not win as well.
Yeah. I mean, I when we talked about the trailer when it dropped, I feel like a month and a half ago or so.
They went early, which was a sign of them being like, we like this. We believe in this. Yeah.
So it just dropped on Friday, which is the only reason I've been able to get into it yet, but I can't wait.
What did you watch? You watched MODOK?
I watched the first episode of MODOK. I still got some more catching up to do, but it's fun. You know, it's a stupid buddy show from the Seth Green animation house. And so it has a lot of the same rhythms of, like, you know, Robot Chicken and weird digressions and lots of jokes. It's a joke machine. Patton Oswalt is perfect as MODOK. I mean, it's silly as all get out, but there's a little story in there. There's a little relationship spine to it. But it's, you know, it is not the grandest thing in the world, but it's also not trying to be. It's trying to be just, you know, 25 minutes of a good time. And I will happily take 25 minutes of a good time.
I will smoke my CBD cigarette to that, Mark.
There you go. I watched a couple of episodes. I'm trying to parse them out, but Lucifer dropped the second half of its 5th season on the Netflix.
Are you a Lucifer? Are you a devil worshiper?
I am a 100% Satanist when it comes to my content.
Don't say that. They're going to take that out of content and put that all over the internet. Yeah. Well, not comicbook.com. They usually write nice things, but somebody else, AV Club is going to write like fucking Smith's buddy's a Satanist fucking figures. By the way, he sucks at everything. So thank you, Mark.
Just trying to chum the waters there. But yeah, Lucifer, even when it was on Fox and then it went to Netflix, it was also a very, very easy show to watch. You know, like even when it was just a procedural and like, no, this is fun. I can 100% get behind this once a week. And then when it got to be deeper and dig into some more themes and some more like expanded narrative on Netflix, I just enjoy it. The casting is great. The production's really good. The writing's really smart. You know, it is a fine Friday night, which is about when my wife and I usually like buckle down for an episode of Lucifer. So I've been doing that. I've also been doing some press. Ooh, what? Yes, sir.
But when it moved to Netflix, were they allowed to start cursing and show nudity?
They probably were, but they didn't.
They kept it the same show.
Yeah, I mean there might be a shit here and there, but there was never any nudity, you know. And at this point, you can say shit on NBC or Fox anyway.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm off to ABC and Fox.
See you later.
I've been saying shit professionally for 27 years. Who knew it went mainstream? Yeah, I guess you can get away with that shit. I have seen that in like a network show. But I don't know that I ever watched network shows in real time as much as I watched them later on. So I assume maybe they bleeped them out, but I guess not.
Yeah. No, it's I feel like it was part of the FX, Fox, CW. Like, are we really a network? Kinda. Do we really need the FCC rules? Maybe not.
Hey man, no argument here. Lower the bar. Lower the bar. That's how guys like me got in.
But yeah, also been doing some press this week.
What have you been doing press for your comic book?
My comic book. We got to announce finally this book that I've been doing with Comixology for the last couple of years called Adora and the Distance, sort of graphic novel about a little girl's fantasy quest journey from point A to point B. That is also a book about autism and what I imagine the inside of an autistic brain to be, how it views its own world and its life and its reality. And been working on this book for on and off for like 15 years. Finally was able to get a publisher for it, Comixology, who came in and said, do the book you want to do it exactly how you want to do it. Found an amazing artist named Ariella Cristantina from Jakarta. And she killed it, made it look gorgeous, and Comixology is behind it in a big way. So we got to announce a release date, which is June 15th, just in time for Father's Day. And got to do a bunch of interviews and previews and you know, it's a smaller scale production than, let's say, Masters of the Universe Revelation, but you know, even still, getting to talk about this thing finally is a joy.
You don't have to raise one to lower the other.
There's just a scale difference.
More importantly, not in terms of I bet you pure enjoyment. Like I watch Masters and it like makes me cry. I'm like, I'm so glad I did this, and I bet you that book of yours does the same thing to you on a far deeper level.
It does, you know. And then we started getting blurbs back from people because that's what PR will always say. See if you can get some people to read the book who would maybe move the needle in the marketplace. And so, sent out some emails and called in some favors. And the first person to give me a blurb for was Neil Gaiman. And it's like, well, fuck, man, this will help. Thanks, Neil. And then
first off, Mark,
yeah,
don't be calling people gay mans on the show. That's not your place to. This Neil person is not. You don't have to out him.
He's outed himself as a gay man before.
Everyone knows that Neil is a gay man.
Indeed. Happy Pride, you guys.
And welcome, my friends, to 90s theater. That was an old comic book world joke.
Indeed.
Wow, you got a blurb from fucking Gaiman? Jesus.
I got a blurb from Gaiman. Gail Simone gave me one. Scott Snyder gave me one. Oscar nominee Emily Gordon gave me one. Damon Lindelof wrote the introduction to the book. I'm sorry. Am I pestering you with names?
These names are gonna crush me. They're dropping.
You just got a Neo. You got to bullet time your way around the.
When does the book? More importantly, where can they pre-order the book?
It's digital only for now. Comixology.com. It's a Comixology original. It will follow later with a print edition from Dark Horse. And yeah, go to Comixology, pre-order it. It's out on June 15th. So 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Fucking A, man. Look at that shit. Way to accomplish too. It doesn't matter how long it fucking took you on and off. Like you start a thing, you finish a thing, you got a thing to show for all that fucking time.
Yeah, man. And getting to do it the way you want to do it. There's something to be said
about subject matter that you want to do it about and stuff. It's always wonderful when you can find people that'll back your play. So thank you to the good folks at Comixology. Is that like the Comixology app, Comixology?
Same guys. And so they're not just in the business of aggregating DC and Marvel and Image and whatever, but they make their own shit.
They're making the fresh content.
Yeah.
Look at this. Fucking, we're learning something all the time. We learned about the fucking lady who's the Scarlet Pimpernel, Baroness Emma, whose last name Orzi.
Yes.
And then, thank you, it finally clicked. And now we've learned that Comixology is moving into the publishing game.
Hell yeah.
How was the reaction to your Peter Parker spider band or whatever?
Peter Parker spider bangs. It was pretty good, like the reviews were pretty strong. There, a couple people, there's always somebody who's not going to dig it, and that's fine. But by and large, the reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Asking for when are we going to see more of this Peter Parker, to which I say, no idea and no plans. But if they ask me, I will do more.
What's going to happen is when we go back to the bar finally, hey, Banff man, pop in here. When we go back to the bar finally, people are going to be throwing that up on the counter to get signed. We just referenced the bar. When does that happen?
So we've had health department in 3 times in the past week. The first to check and make sure we were adhering to COVID protocols, to which I said, yeah, we are, but isn't this all up on June 15th? She goes, that's the rumor, but we can't say anything because it's not our call. So then they came back to follow up, and then she came back to show off the bar to one of her friends, which was funny because we all had a heart attack. And she was like, no, I'm just showing my friend the bar. So I don't want to push anything. I think we look at doing it whatever the Tuesday is after the 15th. So maybe the 22nd-ish in there.
Okay.
Or maybe a Saturday afternoon, whatever that would be. 26 or so.
Robert Mills on chat is saying that Newsom has just said it's being extended.
Newsom said that the state of emergency is being extended, but not the restrictions on masks and dining and occupancy. So essentially Newsom is keeping the state of emergency, so if something happens, he can essentially send down orders without having to go through legislature.
Tony Cole in chat is saying, what's going on with the audio? Seems very muffled, especially Mark. I'll try to bring you closer, kids.
I think it's on Mark. I think Mark's mic might be a little overmodulated. Are you on?
I'm not automatically adjusting volume.
Maybe turn it down slightly.
Is this better? Warmer?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay. I'm trying to make it better for you guys.
I do have some fun Scum and Villainy news though, if we're sharing. Scum and Villainy is now only the second place in Southern California selling Skywalker Ranch wine. So the wine that is made from the grapes that are grown from Skywalker Ranch, you can now get at Scum and Villainy. Well, starting next week, you can get it at Scum and Villainy. So you can come in and get Skywalker Ranch Rosé or Chardonnay or Pinot Noir.
Very smart, very on brand. How did that happen?
We have a new bar manager named Carissa who's just going after stuff. So she got that all hooked up. And
2 places. Is the other one Disney?
The other one is Disney.
Look at that shit, man. You rubbing elbows with the big rats, son.
Yeah, I'm always wondering how hard I can poke. But I felt like this is pretty safe.
Fine. Yeah, you're safe. I mean, it's, if anything, if there was like some sort of corporate mustache twirling fucking villain somewhere, this would be ooh.
Well,
like a bear in his
here's
ass.
the thing. George still owns the vineyard. It's still his wine company. Yeah. And I don't, based on his comments of the past few years, I don't know if there's any love lost with Disney. So, I think he'd have our back. I'd like to think he has our back. And he doesn't make movies anymore. He doesn't have Lucasfilm or ILM or any of this stuff anymore. So, like, he's making money off of his wine, right? And we're buying the wine. So we're in business with Mr. Lucas now, which is something that Disney isn't anymore.
Yeah. I do like that you're imagining that George Lucas is like, all right, here's the $4 billion I got from selling this stuff and the $2,000 that I got from Scum and Villainy and wine sales. Thank goodness that this is showing up to keep the lights on.
He's a businessman. He knows that every fucking penny counts. He's like, bottle of wine, made from the hands of the Jedi. Could you imagine when he started bottling wine? He knew he had a customer base to begin with. And he had no idea that one day there'd be a bar set in a spaceport on the streets of Hollywood in California, man, that would become his greatest fan and proprietor of his wine. I've seen all them fucking grapes, man. That where they grow them at Skywalker Ranch, that's right outside the sound mixing facility. So there's like rows and rows of fucking grapes. And you walk through a fencing thing and you get inside, and that's where we mix Dogma. That's where the Stag Theater is, I think. Yes. That's where I saw the Phantom Menace trailer for the first time, like before it, went out into the world and shit. So I can vouch for those fucking grapes, man. They're all over the fucking place over there at Skywalker. Or at least they were. I'm
not a wine person. Like, I don't like it, but I had some of the Chardonnay and it's tasty. It is good.
We're seeing here in the chat, Omni432 says, I like the idea in the chat of you guys, meaning us, having our own brand of wine and calling it Jeff's Kiss.
Ooh.
JC, why don't you get some of that Skywalker shit, throw it in a bottle with a different label on it. We'll upcharge about $10, call it Jeff's Kiss.
Well, it would be like, what is kiss in French? Bouche, I think.
Fermez la bouche. I think Bouche's mouth. No?
Bouche's mouth.
All right. Well, then let's find out what kiss is.
You've been telling people for years, bouche me, thinking you were saying kiss me and mouth me.
Oh, embrasser. Kiss. So, Jeffrey l'embrasser.
The Jeff's Jizz. Says that's quite funny.
That's for the malt liquor that we serve under the
That's when something is beyond a Jeff's Kiss, when it's so insanely off the chart superlative. It's Jeff's Jizz. Jeff's Kiss, ladies and gentlemen, and for fucking that very rare occasion, Jeff's Jizz.
Yeah.
All right. Let's enough about George Lucas and his booze. He needs no help whatsoever. The guy's already fucking got enough of our money. I remember when I mixed up there at Skywalker for the first time. I sat down in a chair, like this wooden rocking chair that, nicer than, more rustic, I would say, than you would see it, fucking Cracker Barrel, but same idea. And I said to myself, I was like, with all the money that my parents spent on Star Wars toys, I probably own this chair. I probably bought this chair. That's about it.
Did you secretly put a little metal plaque on and back that was like Kevin Smith?
I did. No, I went the Jersey way. I pissed on it. That's how you mark the territory.
Nice.
Where I'm from, Mark.
Just fart in the cushions.
Few people have asked, what are you drinking? I'm drinking Mighty Kind makes Mooby's cannabis seltzer. This is violet mango. It's CBD in it. So it's got no sugar. It's all vegan and whatnot. I love it. That answers that question. A lot of people are asking, have they already talked about Sweet Tooth? Yes, I deep dove on Sweet Tooth. I got a sweet tooth from being so fucking sweet to Sweet Tooth. You can go back and watch it earlier in the show. But we did our upfront chit chat, except we can talk about, I guess that's part of the news. Yeah. And we got news from last week and this week.
We got a selection of both.
So we better get to it because there's a bunch to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marc Bernardin is an award-winning newsman. I'm sure he's won. Did you ever win an award?
I was at a magazine that did win Magazine of the Year. One of the Ellie's. So I suppose I can technically glom onto that.
Totally counts, man. Why not? I'm still living off the glory of Clerks. You could totally get a little taste of that.
EW shine.
Absolutely. The man is known for bringing you the news that we need every week that we hear discuss, and you get to see us react to it, and you get to see me get mad that Batgirl's not going to be a movie, which turned into a real fucking story last week. And taught me a lesson to keep my opinions to myself, because I was like, this, god damn it, this should be a movie. And the internet, every story was like, Kevin Smith uses foul language. He's so fucking mad about Batgirl being a TV show. Look, I'll take Batgirl any way I can get her. I just think, you know what? I already dug this grave. Let's move on. Mark, while I have a enjoy the smooth, crisp taste of a CBD only cigarette, Mark, why don't you take us into our first story of the evening? Marc Bernardin with the news, ladies and gentlemen. Bernardin means rose in French.
No, it doesn't.
What does it mean?
If I had to guess, and it's purely based on some very dodgy genealogical research, Bernardin is an Italian name that got Francified by a sort of merchant who left Florence, I think, and then went to France. Bernardini then went to France, dropped the I, became Bernardin. And I don't know if Bernardin means anything. Our names don't mean shit.
My people came from Newark down to the shore.
Hey, you didn't drop it a letter?
Look at you. What a rich history, man, that goes into fucking Europe and shit. It starts in fucking Italy and then moves to France and then...
Well, the name does. My people traveled from one place to another as well. It was less romantic.
Oh, that's hysterical. You ain't going to get that kind of satire anywhere else. Social satire, ladies and gentlemen. Take that, Saturday Night Live. I just saw that for the first time ever, Saturday Night Live finished #1 in its category in the ratings.
The category of late night variety TV shows?
No, the category of entertainment on television that's not sports. So based on its ratings all year long, and if I'm wrong, somebody will fucking correct me, but like they took an honor they've never taken before, and they're in their fucking 40 some odd year, 47th, 46th year,
46th season. It feels to me, and I don't know the honor that they're speaking of, but it's a little bit how like every radio station is #1 in something. It's like we're the #1 drive time between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning here in Spokane, Washington. Okay, great. I don't see how Saturday Night Live gets more eyeballs than like Grey's Anatomy. But if they're saying it does, congrats, Lorne Michaels and company, on an honor well won.
Esco 430 says, hey guys, Kevin, on a previous FatMan podcast, you had a dope ass He-Man hockey jersey. Is that up for sale at the Secret Stash? They will be sooner or later because it's from the good folks. There's one right here behind me. It's a Skeletor one.
Very jaunty.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy great. They make them like these cats, these Geeky Jerseys cats. Where are they? Let me give them a free plug. Geeky Jerseys, man. They make incredible fucking hockey jerseys. I stopped wearing hockey jerseys like after the heart attack. I'll be honest with you. I had a heart attack in a hockey jersey, and then I was like, after I survived it, I was like, maybe I should lay off hockey jerseys. I was, superstitious or whatever the fuck. So for a red hot minute, which is about 3 years, I stopped wearing hockey jerseys. But these Geeky Jersey cats, man, I mean, look at this shit. This will make a man put a hockey jersey on again.
Lords of Destruction.
Battle Cat one. So I want to see if they'll do some Jay and Silent Bob type stuff, man. Really, really good. But anyway, go to Geeky Jerseys, kids. They got that. I think they got that. The Skeletor one was limited edition, so I don't think that's still around. But the Battle Cat one definitely is still around. All right, back to you, Mark. Time to do the news, man.
Time to do the
Coming
news.
like one of those corrupt news organizations that's all about sales and shit. How are we considered serious newsmen if we're so busy whoring hockey jerseys and fucking ball trimmers and and fucking CBD water that we may or may not have a piece of based on the cow on the can?
Meanwhile, in Kuwait.
All right, what's going on?
First thing is a thing that I haven't gotten to take part in yet because I haven't been to the parks in a dog's age. But Avengers Campus opened up in Disneyland, California Adventure.
Have you looked at any of the videos online?
The one that I saw, I mean, I saw a couple. I saw Anthony Mackie handing the shield to the parks version of Captain America. I saw the crazy ass fucking Spider-Man robot that flips through the air.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yes.
That is nuts. That because when it flies through the air, I've watched all these videos on Twitter and I was like, oh, there must be a fucking rope or something that I'm not seeing. But my kid went to Avengers Campus for like some preview thing. Her and some of the kids from her, she's on that TV show Cruel Summer. Summer's on Freeform. Freeform's part of the Disney family. And my kid is a like Disney nut, dude. Just like lives like she's had season passes since we moved out here. So she, a lot of people like Disney and shit. And if they wind up working for Disney, they're like, oh, how neat. I get to go to Disneyland. That's the reason like Harley took the job. She was like, put me in the Disney family and I could go to the parks for free and shit. So she's a huge, huge fan. So she got to go to that Avengers Campus event that was not the opening night event, but the next day is kind of closed off and shit. So I asked her, first off, I tried to go. The moment I heard she was going, I was just like, well, it's like, who's going? And she was like, well, I'm bringing Austin. Or Austin's her boyfriend. And I was like, well, don't worry about fucking, me. I'll make a few calls. I'll see you there, at Avengers Campus. I know people. We do FatMan Beyond. You don't think I could get on Avengers Campus? And I couldn't get onto Avengers Campus, Mark. But to be fair, they did like initially they were like, no, this is a closed event. You can't come. And I was like, oh, I understand. It was totally fine. But then they called back. They were very sweet. They were like, look, we found a way to bring you in if you're interested. But it was on the day, it turns out, that I was doing all my Masters of the Universe stuff. So I had a chance. I wanted to go, then I couldn't go. Then I was allowed to go, but I couldn't go and stuff. But the reason I couldn't go is good reason, because I was sitting around talking about Masters of the Universe, which is like one of my favorite topics. So long story short, I didn't go. The kid did. She saw Spider-Man in real life. No strings, no ropes. She's like, it looks like a human fucking being is literally doing a Spider-Man over your head in the sky. She's like, it's just like you see in the video. It's incredible. It's a fucking animatronic like Lincoln, but not connected to anything, right? So what is it, powered by batteries or shit?
I don't know. The thing that and I don't want to know, because there's something wonderfully magic about just Spider-Man flying through the air.
It is true magic. Like when I watched it, like you hear people in the videos going, wow, like it captures your imagination. I'm a 50-year-old man. I know all this shit's fake. But for 1 second, I was like, holy fuck, they got a guy to Spider-Man up there. Not thinking like nobody could do that. Like it's impossible to do that pose, to do that very comic book pose, but it looks like the fucking movie. Hats off to these fucking imagining.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Vamp Man with some detail.
I'm pretty sure he's going to come in and tell us who worked on this particular robot as one of his final projects.
It was one of Grant Imahara from Mythbusters' final projects that he worked on.
Final, he passed?
He passed last year.
Last year.
That's right. Oh my God. That was working on that animatronic?
Yeah, it's a robot. He was working on the balance and getting it to flip. And I saw, gosh, it must have been over a year and a half ago, video of just the robot, like the weird robot flipping through the air that he was working on, where it looked more like Ultron than Spider-Man, because it was just the steel frame. But it was crazy. He was doing all the calculations and stuff to make it work.
It's I've seen a lot of shit, but that really took my breath away, where I was like, oh my God, they can still, fucking surprise me with little magic. That looks fantastic. Kid said the whole fucking place is wonderful. She had like one of the best days in her life going to the park, and then she went over to the other park. She rode Rise of the Resistance as well, which she was saying was fantastic. But the biggest praise that she had, and she loved it all. The Spider-Man ride, she says, incredible. She came home with a little spider bot and shit. but this kid would not stop talking about the Pym kitchen.
Yeah.
She got the big pretzel. They got like a tiny Bavarian pretzel goes by on a conveyor belt into a Pym particle machine and comes out like the size of your head. They had a vegan meatball. You know, she's vegan and stuff. Meatball and spaghetti made with impossible meat. And the meatball was like big like this, but the fork was tiny. So they're being real clever with the food in the Pym kitchen. I know some people were like, they only got one ride, the Spider-Man ride, but it's like, well, and it's not so much a ride like woo, but it's one of those interactive ride games like the Toy Story ride where you actually shoot webs and shit like that.
That's cool.
That's kind of dope. So but there's another ride coming and stuff, and they do have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride is kind of nearby. But she said it was absolutely fantastic. So I look forward. I'm going to go before I head to Jersey.
Nice. Yeah, not since Spider-Man Turned Off the Dark have I seen a Spider-Man thing quite as impressive as Flippy Robot Spider-Man.
Did you see Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
I did.
Were you there one of the nights where the guy hit the ground?
No, I was there one of the nights where the guy was just suspended in the air for like 45 minutes.
You were there for one of those shows?
Yeah. I went to like a preview performance where they were still working out the kinks. Like the first two times when the dude just swings across the theater, you're like, oh, that's fucking rad. Well done, Julie Taymor. And then the third time, he's just kind of stuck up there. And then it's like being in Space Mountain or whatever, when the ride stops and like the lights come up and there's some text just like working to free a dude from the harness on the top of the ceiling because he's stuck. You turned on the dark, turned off the light.
That is dope. I had no idea you were fucking there for not only there for that musical, but there for like fucking when it fell apart. How was the music?
You know, it was U2, or at the very least it was like, you know, Bono and the Edge. I don't think it was the whole band. And so like there's a couple of good songs, but all in all, it was a noble experiment in theatricalizing Spider-Man that ultimately didn't do any of the things you wanted Spider-Man and or theater to do. So, way to spend billions of dollars on a thing that didn't work.
It was Marc Bernardin for you, ladies and gentlemen. Your play, your comic book thing could be dead for years. He'll still find a way to come out and kick its corpse and
I will dust off my theater critic hat and just blow you in the broadside for a thing that's 20 years old.
Give him his last few months, kids. Once he makes Splinter, that all goes away.
It all goes away. It's like, oh, you guys, that was amazing. You know what? I know how hard it is to make something now.
Speaking of which, somebody pointed out in our chat that they looked right before we went. You were up to $190,000.
$192,000.
Woo!
It's bananas.
I want to go to your rap party. Sounds like you got a lot of money.
Oh yeah, we're spending all of it on fucking In-N-Out trucks.
In-N-Out trucks. It's such a super waste of money considering we just go to In-N-Out. But the good news is we wouldn't have to wait in line. That's the only bad part about In-N-Out.
That's the beauty of the trucks. And I did make a promise on the Kickstarter campaign that if we hit $200,000, then I will do a FatMan Beyond special re-reviewing the Snyder Cut in the most positive light possible.
Wow, did somebody buy it?
I just said like, hey, if we hit that money, I will give that for free to everybody. So like, if this is the thing you want, we're now $8,000 away from me spending probably some of the time you're back east, unable to do shows. I will be back west doing a solo. All right, gang, let's strap in. Let's find the goods.
Kids, that's got to be worth the money. Go to Kickstarter.com. Look for Splinter movie, Splinter film.
Splinter Short.
Splinter Short.
Yes.
And throw a few more bucks into Mark's kitty so that he has to chow down on some fucking thick, luscious, uncut Snyder cock. Oh, what happy times they'll be.
Oh man, we live in glorious days, my friend.
We live in a society, as they tell us. as the Joker himself tells us.
Yes,
yes,
which is true.
Avengers Campus, ladies and gentlemen, is open, And it sounds like heaven on earth, man. But it sounds like they're doing a lot of fun shit. Look, I'd go to Disney right now, even if they were like, you know, all that's open are the bathrooms. I'd be like, great. I haven't seen it in so long. I'd be happy to fucking go. But it sounds like now that they're up and running, throwing Avengers Campus into the mix. Holy shit. I don't, do they have it in Florida or just Los Angeles?
I think they're building them in various other parks, but the Disneyland one is the first one to open.
More of this, man. More of the Star Wars park, fucking Marvel park. What else can they do?
I mean, the Star Wars cruise, I think they're building a whole fucking cruise ship that's supposed to be insane.
Immersive hotel experience where like you don't leave it for 3 days straight, man. Oh,
Yeah.
I can wait. I'm gonna do that. I am legit doing that. And they keep not threatening, but going like the price is gonna be $6,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I guess what, man? My kid, she don't need her fucking inheritance. I need that.
I will start a Kickstarter just to fucking go on that.
Yeah. Mark's gonna wake up and be like, what happened to my $200,000 in the middle of his Snyder Cut commentary? And I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna get some of that. All right, what other news we got?
We had talked a couple of weeks ago about the fact that we were going to check in with Jupiter's Legacy, the new Netflix superhero show from the mind of Mark Miller. But we hadn't gotten around.
Miller. He sold Miller World to Netflix. I remember years ago and shit like that.
Yeah,
And this was the first part of first IP that they made of all his stuff.
Indeed, is the first one to come off the assembly line. It was received relatively well in its first week.
Yeah.
And then by, let's see, this week, its fourth week, has been effectively canceled on the Netflixes.
So they know it's done.
They know it's done. According to Netflix, they're not done with the Miller verse because they did give a series order to Super Crooks, which follows a group of villains planning a heist, and it's part of the Jupiter's Legacy world. But those characters and those actors are not coming back for a second season.
And it sounds like that wasn't the original plan to do Super Crooks next.
I don't believe it was. And Jupiter's Legacy was an expensive gamble. They spent a reported $200 million on that first season, which is a lot.
How many episodes? 200?
No, 8.
I mean, look, I don't know shit about shit because I make low budget shit, but that sounds pricey.
It was a lot.
Super stuff though, right? Lots of costumes and
costumes and lots of makeup and a decent amount of special effects. But The Witcher, which also had all of those things, plus set in a period fantasy world, didn't cost $200 million.
And The Witcher is very popular, correct?
Incredibly popular. I think they're in the middle of production on season 2. They're doing a prequel series. But yeah, so this is not good news for Netflix per se, because it's a big investment that they hope to pay off in a bigger way. And I think probably what ended up happening was a decent amount of people showed up that first week to watch it and then didn't come back. And then it didn't pull in anybody else who hadn't already sampled it that first time. Because Netflix is a completely data-driven place. And without those numbers, without that audience, they weren't willing to roll the dice anymore. So,
well, I feel bad for Mark Miller, but he's getting another TV show.
It's hard to feel bad because he did sell this to Netflix for a gigantic sum of money. Super Crooks.
You always want, fucking everybody to move forward and stuff like that. And he's, this is definitely the first one out the gate.
Yeah.
So you'd hope that there was a win out the gate. But hey, you're talking to the guy who made Yoga Hosers Kids and Mallrats, which was much maligned and totally box office failure in 1995. So I know whereof I speak. It stings when the thing that you think is like, oh man, I can't wait till everyone sees it and loves it as much as I do. That's what I'm dreading for Masters of the Universe Revelation. I love this thing so fucking much. That's why that press day was such a relief for me, because like at least I heard from other people that were very, very enthusiastic, positive about it as well. But like, you know, like I love it so much, and I'm not even the sole creator. I'm just one of many hands on it and stuff. But you just want everyone to love it as much as you. And, you know, if it doesn't connect, that doesn't matter if they gave you all the money in the world, that like just hurts your heart and stuff. But, you know, you're not allowed to bitch about it because you're breathing rarefied air that you get to do it at all. That's why it's like every once in a while you stop. I don't know if others do, but I stop in this business and I'm gobsmacked because I'm like, it is crazy that like sometimes you can walk into a room and be like, it's about a little boy who's like a deer. Well, I guess that like is proven as a comic book, and then Robert Downey Jr. walks it in, right? But like, it's weird that like the Wachowskis went in and they were like The Matrix, and that somebody got it, and that somebody was like, all right, and fucking just gave them a bunch of money to go realize this fantasy that they had, and that's kind of the world of you know, the studio side of the business, or even on the lower end of the pool with me, because even if it's not like, you know, Warner Brothers or Universal paying your check, you still have to pull together a series of investors, if not invest yourself. And so you're convincing people or asking people to like give you money to go fucking make pretend. So when something doesn't like hit the way you wish it would, and again, I'm speaking from experience, like, you know, it hurts, but then you very quickly learn, as I did back in 1995, that you can't bitch. Like, you want to talk about fucking first world problems. Like, I remember whining a little bit about Mallrats doing poorly to my father, and my father was a realist, Mark. My father asked me, how much did you get paid to make that movie? And I told him, and he was like, okay, do you know how many years I had to work to get close to that figure at the post office? Count your blessings, Kevin. And, you know, he's absolutely right. So, yeah, I feel bad for Mark as a creative. I feel bad for, it was Steve DeKnight was in charge of the show.
He was on the show for a stretch and then parted ways with Netflix. And then another showrunner came in to finish the first season.
He did such a great job with Daredevil season 1.
Yeah.
Greatest seasons of TV I've ever seen and stuff. So you feel bad for Netflix. Nobody, you know, everyone wants a huge fucking win, but it doesn't sound like, it sounds like does this count as a pivot?
It seems to be, you know, because they Netflix invested in Mark Miller and this gallery of IP, and it's not a thing that they're just going to leave at the side of the road because one thing didn't work once. And so Super Crooks is happening. There's another animated series that he's doing that's, I think, going to the Cannes Film Festival. The Magic Order is still in development over there. So yeah, they're not letting it die. It's just, all right, this one didn't work. Let's see what else we can do.
That's breathing rarefied air, man. If you can, you know, walk from something that's ending to right away to something that's beginning.
Indeed.
Well, at least they made it, right? At least we're still in a world where everybody's like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we do live in this place where they made a Jupiter's Legacy TV show, which might not have happened 15 years ago.
Not our childhood, to say the least, let alone 15 years ago.
Yep.
Where next?
Next, in a move that surprises nobody, Cruella is going to get a sequel.
Was it very successful?
It pretty much was. I mean, it got, you know, really high on Rotten Tomatoes. It grossed almost $30 million in the box office, which, you know, even in a non-COVID time would have been impressive. But it also did incredibly well on Disney Plus, which was one of their premiere releases. So they got money that way as well.
Did they give numbers on the Disney Plus? I'm putting the lawnmower back in the box. If people are like, "What are you doing? Are you masturbating?" No.
According to data from Samba TV, which seems to be this third-party reporting on streaming viewership, it was seen by almost 700,000 U.S. households. So that's 700,000 people who all dropped $30 to watch Cruella at home.
Somebody do the math real quick.
It's not going to be me.
Banff math. Hey, Banff math. He's literally doing it on paper off camera. Where's your abacus, Banff man?
Click, 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 click.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Bam.
Hey, look who's here. It's FatMan.
21 million.
So they got how much at the box office?
26.5 at the box office, 21 million. So that's $47 million this thing made in its opening weekend, which ain't too shabby and clearly enough to at the very least start development on a sequel.
Yeah, she's a star. People like her quite a bit.
They really do.
Have you watched it, Cruella, yet?
Not yet. I wanted to over the weekend, but got stacked up with lots of other things. I wanted Sweet Tooth. I wanted Cruella. I wanted to do more MODOK. But then again, the weekend is young. I still got time.
Mayor of Easttown ended last. Did you watch it?
I did.
Wasn't it fucking phenomenal?
Oh, so good. So good.
So well done across the boards. Yeah, just I was sad to see it end, but at the same time, happy to see it end because I did not see the end chapter coming. I did know that, like, when things were wrapping up in the first 7 minutes, I was like,
this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, perhaps this well goes deeper than we thought. Insanely well done, and I loved like the situations it set up in terms of who against who and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it was great, very well made, and she's just fucking wonderful. I'll watch her do anything. But it was incredibly cast. Mayor of Easttown, definitely worth your watch. Hacks continues to be an incredible fucking watch. Jean Smart, I think, secretly owns HBO because she's on 3 shows, but it's really just goes to show how fucking good she is. They could put her on every fucking show. Like, they're making this Sex and the City movie without Samantha. Put Jean Smart in that role, man. She can pull off Samantha's mom and shit. She's so crazy good in Hacks, and the girl with her as well. It's really wonderful. It reminds me, have you watched it yet?
Not yet, no.
It reminds me of Ted Lasso.
Okay.
In as much as wickedly funny, where you're like, oh shit, but it has this gooey beating heart at the same. So it's worth, if you lassoed me into Ted, let me hack into your heart with Hacks, Mark.
I appreciate an incredibly rock pun. Well played.
All right, where to next?
This is a little off pitch for us, but not that far. Creed 3 is rolling on its way towards production.
That ain't off pitch for us. The fucking Rocky verse, the Creediverse, that counts. Like, look, if Tarzan fucking counts, Rocky could count. It's another shirtless white guy. Fucking, why can't he be a superhero as well? All right, so
Michael B. Jordan is directing Creed 3.
Yeah,
and they've announced that Jonathan Majors, who played Atticus in Lovecraft Country, is enrolling as the antagonist.
The last man in San Francisco, the last black man in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know him as the guy from Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, and he was in
Future Kang.
And he'll be Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. He was in Spike Lee's Defy Bloods as well. But he's going to be the antagonist. They haven't mentioned what character he's playing. There's a piece of me that, knowing how these movies have gone, given who we've seen in each of them, that there is a Clubber Lang connection that could potentially be made.
Chat's blowing up with a lot of people talking about, like, it's Clubber Lang Jr. I'd heard fucking tell of that somewhere too. How would I have? They haven't announced that, so why would that be in the air?
They haven't. I mean, it feels like both a logical deduction to make, as well as a thing that you might want it to steer away from, which is how many of the children of Rocky's previous foes will Adonis Creed be fighting? He's gonna, like, at some point, like, fucking John Cena shows up as the son of Thunderlips.
I'll take it. I'll totally take it. That's what makes it a Rocky verse and or a Creediverse. Like, you need to bring back supervillains for the fights and shit. I hope he is Clubber Lang Jr., man. Oh my God, because Mr. T's still fucking up and around, correct?
Mr. T still up and around. Sylvester Stallone.
The same way in Dolph Lundgren was in the last one. Get T as your old anchor, your classic, if you will, your legacy. talent. I hate to say the word old, but I'm old too, and he's in way better shape than me. I retracted because even though he's older, he could probably still kick my ass.
Apparently, Stallone is not coming back for Creed 3.
Even more of a reason to get Mr. T.
Yes. Hey, woman. Hey, woman. You done with him? Come over here as yourself a real man. I'll bust you up.
That took me back to like seeing it, and I'm sitting next to my father. My father was just like, yeah. All right, wait, MGM owns Rocky, right?
Indeed.
And MGM has just been bought by
Amazon,
a little bookseller name of Amazon.
Indeed, a little toilet papery called.
So
Amazon.
this means they have the current Michael B. Jordan flick, the Tom Clancy movie, and now they're about to have the next Michael B. Jordan flick, which Michael B. Jordan is directing, isn't he?
Indeed, this will be his debut.
It's good business to be in.
The Michael Jordan business does not seem to be a shabby one.
When I was at the MGM building years ago for Buckaroo Banzai, I was in the lobby waiting to go up, and he came out. He was doing Creed press for the first time. And I saw him in person and got a little starstruck because he was on The Wire.
He's on Parenthood.
I go deep cuts. Was he on Parenthood?
Yeah.
The
No, he was.
The
He
TV
was?
stuff?
Yeah.
Bam.
And Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, he was on Parenthood and Friday Night.
Oh, look at Michael B. Jordan fanboy Banff boy jumping out. What's that all about? Even revealing hidden fucking depths, heretofore unseen depths.
I made a lot of controversial comments in 2015 when I said that Creed was my favorite movie of that year. Everybody's like, "What about Episode 7?" I was like, "Creed was my favorite movie of that year."
Oh, what a little fucking pleasant, polite bitch you are. Creed is a great fucking movie, and it is on brand because it's the Creediverse. I hope to God. Well, I hope there is a God, and sometimes, right, I hope there isn't a God, because if he is a God who does not have a sense of humor, Dogma has fucked me forever. I hope there is a God, Mark, because if there is, it's going to be Mr. T's kid.
I would like to see that.
That'd be dope. They can keep doing it, man. I want them to see him fight Rocky's kid.
Get fucking Milo Ventimiglia back in here. Come on, Milo.
That's where it should lead to eventually. It's just like, you've got to fight Rocky Jr. They don't have to fight. I'll tell you who will never have to fight, Mark, is for my fucking cinematic dollar, because I like what they're doing with the Creediverse.
They're giving you more of it, my friend.
Take all my money, Jeff Bezos. Now that we know who owns MGM.
Yeah, couldn't have done that before.
No,
now there's a name.
Roger Krikorian. They're like, that was years ago.
Deep fucking cut.
Thank you.
Krikorian is not a name.
That's how old fucking Hollywood I am. All right. What's our next story, Mark?
A little bit of casting news that for the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel, Issa Rae is joining the cast.
I read this.
As Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman.
We're finally getting a Spider-Woman.
Hell yes.
It may not be far, I wonder, there's a chance we might get her in no. She'll probably debut in Spider-Verse, and then they'll bring her into the Spider-Man movies and shit. Like, we won't see, maybe we see a fucking Jessica Drew in this metaverse story that's coming our way. Who knows? But this is exciting to me because graphically, I think Spider-Woman is one of the most beautiful comic book characters ever created. I had a pin board as a kid in my room of not Spider-Man, but Spider-Woman, because not because I was like boobies, because I thought she was it's a graphically beautiful design, and still remains so to this day. So I can't wait to see what they do with her in the Spider-Verse. And I think Issa Rae is really funny. So that's a good choice.
Yeah, no, that's a very good choice. Let's see, moving on. A thing that I never believed in my heart of hearts was going to happen seems to actually be happening, which is Indiana Jones 5 is starting production this week.
When the movie comes out, as I've read on the internet, in Ford. I was going to call him Harrison Jones, Indiana Ford. No, Harrison Ford will be 80 years old.
Yep.
I'm no ageist. I'll watch him mumble through another indie movie. I'm there for it, man. I'm happy to see my childhood come to life once again. Fleabag's in it herself, right?
Yes, she is. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen, Boyd Holbrook, Shawnette Renee Wilson, and Thomas Kretschmann are all part of the supporting cast.
She's going to be turning the camera from time to time and being like, he's really old.
But
yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm glad he's getting another one in. I'm glad he gets another bite at the apple because, no, he don't deserve the Crystal Skulls the last time he touched that character.
No.
And I'm telling you, who's directing it? Our boy James, what's his name?
James Mangold, who did Logan.
He ain't going to drop that ball. This is going to be one of the greatest Indiana Jones movies ever made. I guarantee it, man. He's got too much to lose. You watch how good this movie is going to be.
I mean, I like the idea that it's the guy who made Logan, which is probably the best last chapter of a long-running saga movie that there's been.
That's a great take. Fuck, that's a great take, man. If you walk away from this fucking show this week with two things. One, a lady created the fucking dual identity of superheroes, and her name was Baroness Emma Orczy. Thank you. Learn it. Know it. Live it. Part of your history. Scarlet Pimpernel. Go check it out. And number two, what Mark just said, which it was a minute ago.
It's already forgotten.
Somebody in chat, IMAX said, I liked Crystal Skull, y'all. You know what? Good. Absolutely. For me, it was not. I look forward to what James Mangold's going to do. And I think what Mark said is absolutely right. That's the thing. The other thing you walk away from the show with, like Mark said, the guy who made Logan is making what could be the last Indiana Jones movie with at least our Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Come on. You saw how good Logan was.
I mean, I just look forward to the final scene with the chubby black kid holding an Indiana Jones doll as they bury him in the woods.
Look forward to the scene where the girl stabs fuckers in the eyes.
If you will liberate Fleabag, just stabbing motherfuckers in the eyes.
That's what they hired her to do. Like, she's like the little girl in Logan, but grown up.
Right.
She stabs him in the eyes and then turns to the camera and she's like, stabbing's hard work.
And then Boyd Holbrook is still there with the robot arm. Like, same fucking uniform outfit from Logan.
Where is it being set? Did they say late 60s?
They haven't said. The working theory, as far as the internet goes, is that it's might have like a 60s space race theme.
I'm seeing a lot in chat. Well, maybe not a lot, but Truer IE says Mangold killed Logan. I don't feel that. Well, I mean, yes, he did. But that was meant to be the last story.
Yeah.
Like that was the intent going into the project. So it wasn't like he arbitrarily killed him. It's like, well, that's what we all came to see, the last Logan story.
Yeah.
Humongous Feet Otto Matan says, I thought Logan was way overrated. I thought it was boring. Man, this is the kind of moment that just blows my mind on the internet. I always thought we were all in agreement that Logan was a fantastic movie. Am I fucking wrong? What world did I wake up in? What do they call it? What a simulation is this?
Right. What timeline are we living in where that's not the truth?
It's a fucking great movie. God, I hear shit like that. I'm like, why do I even try? If the guy who made Logan is catching shit, and I know for a fact that's a great flick, then why do I even bother? Fucking makes no sense. All right, what else we got?
This broke close to like 2 weeks ago, so it's the oldest of the old news. Is that Timmy Chalamet is going to be playing Willy Wonka in the new prequel to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So they're doing another of these movies.
They are.
And this is about him being a kid.
Or at the very least, before he becomes the Titanic candy magnate that he is when we meet him in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Who's directing? Do we know?
Guy named Paul King, who's directing from the screenplay he wrote with Simon Farnaby. The only reason why I hold any hope for this is because these are also the people who made the Paddington movies.
Oh, there you go. So there's no wonder Timothy Chalamet signed up.
Yeah. But so
They're like, that script must be amazing to get. That kid's like hotter than hell, and he's
hotter than fucking
signed
hell.
on to like nothing. So him signing on to this was like, either he's cashing in already, or that script must be amazing. And if it's the Paddington guys or gals or whatever, the Paddington team, sounds like that was the big lure, and it must be a great script. People love them Paddington movies.
Oh, so good. So like the second movie is so surprisingly good.
Them people being Mark right there.
I am one of them. It was on my top 10 list, whatever year it came out.
Right.
And apparently this is also a musical. So Timmy Chalamet is going to get to do a little singing and dancing.
He was good when he was on SNL when he hosted. I mean, he's always a good actor, but like he was funny on SNL as well.
Yeah. I never, my sole cinematic exposure to him is in things like Call Me By Your Name. And so I don't, light on his feet is not quite a thing that I always think of when I think of Timothy Chalamet, but getting to see him kind of be funny and be lighter and be a rogue on screen in SNL was liberating.
I can't get my correct head bob going. Anyway.
Did you drink it away?
We've seen him in the Dune trailer, though. He looks pretty awesome in that.
I can't wait for Dune.
When is that?
October, I believe.
You shit me? We got to wait the whole fucking summer to get to Dune?
We got to wait the whole fucking summer to get to Dune, man.
Oh, we get Suicide Squad, though, in August.
Yes.
All right, fuck Dune.
I just needed like a rest area before we got to Dune. I can pull over.
Because the next rest stop ain't till October.
I know.
They also got Black Widow coming in July.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some shit to do this summer. I might be preoccupied, wink, wink.
You might be off doing a thing, and it's like July 9th is almost a month away.
Yeah.
And
June already.
I know, not prepared for that. There are some comic book things both happening and not happening on the CW. Ava DuVernay's Naomi series, based on a comic book by Brian Michael Bendis and David Walker.
And so that they did a pilot for that show. Ava DuVernay directed or wrote or produced or
she, let me see. It's written, yeah, she wrote it, she co-wrote it, and then directed the pilot.
That got to pick up. Something else got to pick up too.
Let's see.
Crazy.
But there were a couple things. Black Lightning did not get a pickup. And neither did Powerpuff Girls, which has been sort of kicked back into quote unquote development.
Yeah, that was a big story last week.
Yeah, when the script leaked onto the internet. And then I think people got a chance to look at the reasons why it did not get a series order.
Was that a real script, or do we know if that was real or if it was just somebody?
All reports are pointing to that it having been a real script. Not potentially the shooting script, but at the very least a script that had been part of the process. You know, because I think there had been some actors who had read for it who said, yeah, no, that was the script. Those were the lines.
I feel like, look, you know, I didn't see it, the finished product and whatnot. I don't know the tone they were going for other than the few pages I too read on Twitter, but it just felt, you know, and this is coming from Mr. fucking, you know, poopy mouth, fucking weenie boy, whatever the fuck, 37 dicks, fucking stink palm, all that bullshit, Jay and Silent Bob himself. It just seemed like it was not a concept you needed to really add sex to, even if they were grown up. And the pages that I read were very, and again, I'm not condemning, but this is me saying it, me who's written some fucking really profane dialogue over the course of his career. It just seemed like you're gonna make Bubbles say that, you're gonna make Awesome say that, like, and also just the whole concept of like them being broken, you know, actor kids grown up, and so they're kind of dysfunctional. Again, from what I've read, I didn't see anything. It's just what I read online. Was not the show that I was hoping to see. I wasn't hoping to see any live action Powerpuff Girl thing. It caught me by surprise, like everybody else. But I don't think it can't be done. I just, what I read is what they were doing. Seems like CW might have, made the right call in saying like, hey, we want to try again. Sometimes these things work. That's why we do pilots or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can make that concept work. Just, it don't have to, you don't this is, again, I sound like such a hypocrite, and it's not because I'm 50 kids. Like I'm going to make a movie hopefully very soon that's just full of fucking cum jokes, but I ain't the Powerpuff Girls, and I never was, and I never should be.
But I think that, like, to your point, it's when you're trying to update or adapt or modernize or sequelize or whatever the thing is, you have to be candid and fair with what the thing is to begin with. And like Masters of the Universe could not sustain being a vulgar thon potty mouth experience, to cater to a 40-year-old audience who played with the toys when they were kids, because that's not what He-Man is. Yeah. You can update it, you can modernize, you can give it, you can enrich it, you can make the themes and the emotional stuff a lot more vibrant, but it's still got to be what it is. And I think the problem is that Powerpuff Girls forgot what it was. And so, yeah, you can update those women. You can talk about, superheroes who are now, grown up in their own perspectives on having been child superheroes. But it's got to feel more like Josie and the Pussycats, the movie compared to the cartoon, than some drastic veering off of that spine of what it meant to be Powerpuff Girls. Like, anything's possible. But the spirit needs to remain intact. Otherwise, why are we doing
it? Let's talk about, do you have it in your news stories about Spider-Man?
I have no more Spider-Man content.
Okay. So one of the big rumors going around, this was probably from last week, was that, spoilers if you haven't heard this shit, but the Green Goblin is the head of the Sinister Six in Spider-Man No Way Home, and that Green Goblin is being portrayed by none other than Willem Dafoe. Have you seen that?
I hadn't seen it. That's cool, though.
Reported in a bunch of places. So much so that, it seemed there have been a bunch of things that have been reported in a bunch of places that have slowly gotten confirms or close confirms. I hope that's the case, man. Like, that would be dope if they pulled together a Sinister Six from across the fucking metaverse and fought Spider-Man. Like,
I mean, we know that Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. I'm not sure, but I think Michael Keaton is also back as the Vulture, perhaps. If he's not off busy being Batman.
We know Doc Ock is back.
Alfred Molina's back as Doc Ock.
He confirmed metaverse and stuff like that.
So, if you got the greatest hits of all the Spider-Mans, then that would be badass. I'm here for it.
I hope that is the idea.
Bam.
Bamf Man is in, hopefully with some deets.
Do you get J. Jonah Jameson versus J. Jonah Jameson as the same actor facing off against each other, screaming at each other?
That's worth a day of shooting for like a 5 to 10 second shot. You, my friend, I hope you get hired by a better Kevin Feige. That is a Marvel-esque idea. That's fantastic. They better do that. I'm gonna be disappointed if there ain't some J. Jonah Jameson on J. Jonah Jameson action.
JJJVJJJ.
Oh man, that's what we all come to see.
Literally.
How about the you got the Batman logo to talk about?
We got the Batman logo to talk about. Director of
Bamf, man, put that sweet picture. Oh my God, dude. Call me an easy mark, but when I saw the Batman Returns iteration of his fucking logo, we know it's Batman Returns because it's missing little feet at the bottom of the tip as he wore in Batman, the first movie. So this is the Batman Returns bat insignia, indicating that, you know, that's the last bat symbol we saw him wear, and he's been wearing it for this long. And in a very Watchmen-esque reference, we see some bat. I don't know if they intended it to be Watchmen because it doesn't form anything, but we see some blood splashed across the bat insignia. Incredibly powerful image for them to put out there. This is Andy Muschietti. I think I interviewed him either at Sundance or at San Diego Comic-Con. I think San Diego Comic-Con, maybe. I forget. No. Yeah. He did
for It, one of the It movies.
Yeah, I think I did. That's he's doing it right, man. He keeps putting out like cool images just enough that really like get people talking. I am super fucking excited about the return of Michael Keaton. I saw some people on Twitter being like, you know, we could have had this Batman, showing the Thomas Wayne Batman from the original series. What's it called again? Flashpoint. He's like, instead we're getting this guy, but I love this. Like, this is how we get to Batman Beyond, man. So I'm way down with it. Down like a clown. So yeah, that's a fucking fun ass little tease right there. What is that blood, Mark? Whose blood is it? Robin's blood?
Ooh.
Alfred's blood? Fucking Vicky Vale's blood?
Harvey Dent's blood?
Yeah, fuck, man. Like,
Can you imagine if we also got Billy D. Williams to come back as Harvey Dent and finally complete that?
So you get Tommy Lee Jones and Billy D. Williams.
And Aaron Eckhart. You get all the fucking Two-Face. You get Six-Face.
Six-Face. 6 faces for the price of 2, ladies and gentlemen. All right, where are we going next?
When I said that I had no more Spider-Man content, I lied. Because Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be playing Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, man. Quicksilver is going to become Kraven. What I didn't see that coming. Nobody saw. I guess Quicksilver's not coming back anytime soon.
Apparently not, or at least not this version of him.
Yeah, it might create a little brand confusion. But he's a big dude. Of course he could play Kraven. He could do accents and stuff. He's already got the accent with Quicksilver. Isn't he coming? Like, so he won't be that far from Kraven. I was only surprised that Kraven's getting his own entire movie.
Yeah, I mean, it seems as if Sony, even after their first go round at the Sinister Six fell apart, that they're still going to plumb the barrel of Spider-Man characters that they have to make some shit. We're still getting Morbius, we're getting Carnage, through Venom 2. Now we're going to get a Kraven the Hunter movie. And there's also nothing saying that any of these characters couldn't show up in a Marvel movie, because Sony and Marvel absolutely have their partnership about Spider-Man. So if you needed a Sinister Six, you also can add Venom and Kraven to it if you wanted to.
Robert H. Hey, Banff man. Robert H. on chat is saying, what's with the last bit of the show only being the logo and not showing them talking 3rd week in a row? But nobody else is bitching
Banff.
They can't do this.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, everyone else. No, he's the only person saying that he can't see us. So
We're all here.
yeah, we're here. I see you. Do you see us?
We're looking at my streaming machine. I mean, I'm watching us on YouTube while we do this, so and on Twitch.
Excellent.
So I think we're good.
And here come all the we see you. It's fine. Thank you. All right.
All right, last story.
Kraven movie. You up for it? Look, the Kraven story I'm waiting for is Kraven's Last Hunt, one of the greatest comic book stories ever written. I believe it's J.M. DeMatteis. Is it Mike Zeck artwork? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. If we get there, then it becomes worth it.
Yeah, fuck. That's one of the greatest fucking comic book stories ever told for my money.
Indeed.
For my money. And I borrowed and bid off of it for my Daredevil run that I did 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago. I guess I'm coming up on 22, 23 years ago that I did Daredevil.
Wow.
Old, Mark. Getting old, but keeping it young with silly hats.
Silly hats and
silly shirts. Speaking of which, JC put up those shirts for Pride Month that they're selling at the chivery.com. I don't know if I sent you a graphic. That's the website. But it's yeah. Just click on it. There you go. That's me and Jay as the
not so ambiguously gay duo.
high duo. And look at this. Click on that fucking 4th of July shirt. That's the third one over. That's a great shirt. This is such I love these chive people because they're like, how about this? And I was like, fuck yeah.
Do it.
I'll totally wear that goddamn shirt. It's a fucking 4th of July design that has me and Jay on a dinosaur with the American flag over us. The lot of great shirts right there at thechivery.com, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you, Mark. Sorry to.
It's all right. Our last news story of the week is a sweet little one. Howard University is naming its College of Fine Arts after one of its more notable and famous alums, Chadwick Boseman, who attended the college before going on to becoming the A-list actor who would then play T'Challa, Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, and James Brown.
What is it's the School of Entertainment, or
it will be the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. Yeah. And so the Disney folks, Bob Iger, they're going to lead a whole round of fundraising for an endowment to name, new buildings to be the home and to endow new scholarships and all that stuff. Felicia Rashad is the dean of the newly reestablished College of Fine Arts, who I think was instrumental in getting young Chadwick money to go study in the UK. Namely, she convinced Denzel Washington to pay a Chadwick's way to go to theater school.
I remember that story, hearing that story.
Yeah. So, it remains sad that Chadwick had left us so young, but the fact that his alma mater is going to carry his name on to keep inspiring youth to chase their artistic dreams is a sweet little coda to that story.
Unfortunately short life, but long-lasting impact, Mark.
Indeed. Show.
That concludes the news. If anybody out there in chat think we missed a news story, let us know. I've already seen some people ask about the Eternals trailer. I guess we didn't talk about that. What a beautiful fucking trailer. Boy, did they visually raise the bar for what these movies can look like. I still not sure what's going on. But I'm in. I'm there. I too, like everybody else, I'm like, well, if they're so fucking powerful, where the fuck were they when Thanos came around? I feel like that'll be part of the movie. I can't imagine they just fucking, yada yada past that. I'm sure that has to do with the plot, and I'm sure we'll see that in the next trailer or something. But everyone looks cool, and it's just I'm going into uncharted territory for me because I was never an Eternals guy.
Yeah.
So, unlike almost everything else they've ever done, if not everything they've done in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm going in like my mom would go in. Somebody's gonna have to sit next to me and do what I normally do when I watch Marvel movies with people and be like, well, what you have to understand is so, but I look forward to it. I mean, fuck, man, more Marvel, less of everything else anyway, but it's goddamn beautiful looking.
Yeah. I mean, it's when I watched that trailer, I thought back to the other first trailers for Marvel movies that I was a little iffy about, specifically Guardians of the Galaxy. Like when I went on the record saying I'm not sure that this was the right choice because what the hell is this? Who are these characters? What's this going to be?
Me too. I was just like, this is why would you pick the bottom of the barrel IP? You got so many characters to choose from. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the worst comic books I ever read. Dot, dot, dot. And it turned into one of the greatest films I ever made.
Yeah, and then but you look at that first trailer, it did an incredible job of convincing you why you were going to watch this movie because it sold the tone of it, and the tone of it was fun. The tone of it was interstellar. The tone of it was candy-colored, kind of Jack Kirby, cosmic adventure. And the Eternals trailer is gorgeous, and it evokes like sweep and epic, but I don't know what the movie is. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel about it. And so that's what I was hoping for. And trailer number 2, I'm sure, will tell us a little bit more about what it's about. But yeah.
Daniel K has pointed out rightly that I kept misusing the term this evening, saying metaverse instead of multiverse. My bad, kids. My head is in crypto world. Sorry. Day and Tom and Bob's Crypto Studio. Yeah, multiverse. My bad. I didn't meant to say that. Just hitting on, let's see, some, rapid fire in the chat from people saying the things we missed. Loki starts this week. Let's not forget. What
Indeed,
day?
The 9th, Wednesday the 9th.
So Wednesday is going to be Loki, which means when we resume on Saturday, when we come back together, guess what me and Mark are going to be likely blowing? Because fuck, this show looks amazing.
Hell yes.
Loki, and on a Wednesday, no less. Something to fucking do in the middle of the week. Wait till the goddamn weekend for everything good. So yes, Loki is coming soon, and by all the trailers I've seen, I'm fucking in, man. It looks fantastic. That came from Lou Nahuel. Then there's As Sin City Magic says the Green Knight looks cool with a brown main actor in the Knights of the Round Table story. Shut up and take my money. Have you seen the trailer for the fucking Green Knight?
It looks so amazing. It looks like Excalibur 2.
Yes, that's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, holy fuck, this reminds me of like the unsettling creep factor of fucking of Excalibur. But they never did the Green Knight story, did they?
No, I mean I mean it was about Arthur, and eventually you would get knights on their quests to do stuff.
I think they sent Gawain. He was at one point, he was the guy that hung, and then the fucking other knight's boot fucking cuts him loose that Morgana and her son has.
Like Percival is the one who brings the Grail back to Arthur, but I don't think they touch on the Green Knight in Boorman's Excalibur.
What a great looking fucking trailer.
Yeah, and Dev Patel, who's the lead, like he looks like he's leaning into it.
Yes, and as they pointed out in the as Sin City Magic pointed out, a brown main actor in a Knight of the Round Table story. So there's that as well. But never mind how diverse it is. It's visually stunning.
Yeah, it looks sumptuous.
It's one of those movies that makes you go like, I quit. Like. Myself a director like this cat. Let's see what else people are talking about. I think that's it. We hit them all. Christine Ricci and the Matrix. Anybody hear about that?
Yeah, it just broke. I want to say like today that they revealed that she was part of the Matrix company. No idea what she's playing.
The new Matrix.
Yeah, Matrix 4.
She's really good, man. It's a wonder she doesn't work more. Remember she like worked forever when we were younger and stuff?
Yeah, she was in everything.
Yeah. I just watched her on something recently. I rented some movie and she was in it. She was really good. I'm glad to hear she's in the fucking Matrix, man. Let's see. Anybody else in chat before we wrap up the news? The Batman 2022. Have you heard that the Batman might be moving?
I hadn't heard that, but
there are rumors. There are wars and rumors of wars, Mark. There are rumors that it may push a little bit. Somebody says Jupiter's Legacy got canceled. We already talked about that. Let's see. I guess there's not. Any news on Celebrity Family Feud? Baker asks. I don't know. When does that air? They'll tell us, but I don't. Recently, they sent me pictures like within the last month of publicity stills, so it must be coming soon.
Yeah. I get the feeling that it's like mid to late June, because I did see their Twitter feed had updated like an early teaser about it, but they didn't give any dates.
Cyborg Rex is debunking the Batman rumors. He says the Batman rumors are lies. So there you go. We've wasted your fucking time on that. Magic Chainsmoker says there are She-Hulk set photos. I haven't seen any of those, but fuck, that'd be amazing. Let me see. We did Issa Rae and Spider-Man. I mean, we already spoke about Issa Rae and Spider-Man. Shazam teaser, did you see that?
It was less a teaser and more like shadowy shots of Zach Levi in the costume.
Costume looks better.
Yeah, you know,
I liked Shazam. It's a lovely little movie, so I look forward to this. But this movie ain't coming out until 2022, right? That's what I saw.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, of the costume-oriented news of the week, it seemed like the Batman logo was a little more evocative.
Indeed. Jonathan Rosalia says WWDC is tomorrow. That's that's Apple thing, right?
Yeah, the developers conference where they will reveal some other way to get money from my pocket for a thing that I probably don't need, but I will buy anyway.
They can have it all. I ain't saying this to get shit for free, because I'll tell you, kids, they don't give you shit for free. Not the shit you want. You get a lot of great shit, don't get me wrong, but if you're like, hey man, can I get a computer? They're like, you're out of your mind. You pay for that. And I do. I actually, if I was a stock buyer, I'd buy Apple stock, because I do buy Apple products. I love my phone. I love my laptop, and I spend a lot of time with them. I spend more time with my phone and laptop, both made by Apple, than I spend with my wife, made by Gail Stanley, my mother. So it's important to like the fucking technology you spend time with and shit like that. This is not an Apple ad. This is just a long way of saying, like, I'll buy whatever they're making, but I ain't gonna fucking sit through a conference. No way.
No, I'll wait until the back end of it where somebody says, here's what they decided to release. Here's how they're gonna make the cords you already have obsolete. So you gotta buy a whole shit ton of new cords. And here's how they're gonna get $2,000 out of your pocket for a thing that probably costs 75 cents to make, but I will give it to them anyway.
Take my money. Scorpius says that Jensen Ackles is getting ripped for his role in The Boys coming up. Wesley Kellison says a new Master and Commander is in the works. I saw that.
Yes, prequel.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, or at the very least, you know, there's a good dozen Master and Commander books, I believe.
Bam.
Is there any of them got a giant shark that terrorizes the boat for the whole movie? And
I don't believe so, but
call me when they do. No, but I know a lot of people like that, so good for them. Henry Cavill and Highlander. I mean, I don't think that's news, is it?
We talked about it on our last show.
Meaning what? He's been re-upped or something?
Well, he was cast as the lead in Highlander.
Oh, Highlander. I was confusing it with Witcher. I'm sorry. I was enjoying those CBD smokes, perhaps a little bit too much. That's right. He's the Highlander. Now here we are. We're the princes of the universe. All right, so I guess we
did it.
Oh, people are getting political in the fucking chat room, Mark. They're saying right to repair. Andrew Mora says right to repair over Apple. Yeah, but what if you can't repair? What if you're one of those idiots that's like, honey, how do I get, you know, we're not all Andrew Mora, man. Some of us need Umura. Some of us need to fucking worship at the altar of Apple.
I am fine with a closed system that I have no access to.
Exactly. You get off that Tim Apple's dick. He's a smart guy. Bam, man, what's up?
I'll point this out real quick, but K-Flag says it might be an Apple ball shaver. They're going to go after some of that.
Ooh.
Manscaped.
Where's our loyalty go in that instance? To Manscaped or to Apple? Because we just blew them for 10 minutes.
I'll say, you want to show off those He-Man toys? Are you able to?
Here, I'll show you at least one.
There was one I saw on Instagram
This is the one I put up on Twitter this week, man. I put it up because on that press day. This is the same guy who did the box art, gorgeous box art, and it's box art based on our art from the show, is the same fella who did our Jane, Silent Bob reboot figures. There's the heads of the other characters right there. These are going to be on shelves, kids, when the show drops July 23rd. So these will probably be on shelves late June, early July. And it's Masterverse line. 30 points of fucking articulation. 30! You know what I had on my Star Wars figures?
5.
At best.
Question.
A firecracker? 6.
Does Adam have like a yellow belt above his loincloth?
He does. It's kind of yeah, it's definitely there.
Okay, because you can't really see from far away. I'm like, that is a low-rise fucking loincloth.
Look at him. He's showing you his happy trail, Mark.
Like, damn, Netflix.
Needs some Manscaped.
Oh, well done. On brand. Manscaped, ladies and gentlemen.
I will say, we talked about how to get rid of unwanted hair. What if you want to bring your hair back? With our second sponsor.
If you want to keep the hair,
or you want to keep the hair you have.
There you go. There you go. What a great tease. This is a guy who wants to keep all the hair he can. Look at him. Our iteration of Skeletor, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
Mark Hamill Skeletor right there. The Lord of Destruction. He's got himself the Havoc staff inside. He's got a shaping staff. I got more toys, but that's the only 2 I'll show because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to show them. But regardless, we're all right here talking about the fact that, like, sometimes a man, a woman, we want to hold on to our hair. Sometimes we're not as gifted as a lot of you out there with lion's manes for heads of hair and stuff like that. We can't all be as blessed as you. And those of us who are not as blessed as you, we just pray every day, oh, sweet heaven of hair. How can we keep our hair? And one day our prayer was answered, ladies and gentlemen. And our prayers was answered by Keeps. Indeed. Follow along at keeps.com, kids. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/FatMan to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/FatMan to get your first month free. KEEPS.com, Keeps.com/FatMan. Keeps is the second sponsor of the night, kids. And they've been with us for a red hot minute now. Feels like it's definitely through the entire quarantine and stuff. So I feel like we've helped a lot of people keep their hair. At the first half of the show, as JC pointed out, our good friends at Manscaped help people lose their ball hair. But the second half of the show, sponsored by the good folks at Keeps.com, these folks are going to help you keep the hair that you want right up there. Isn't that right, Mark?
Indeed. And they offer a simple, stress-free way to do it. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months. Low cost. They're just $10 a month. And Keeps offers generic versions of their drugs. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers them both. And prevention is key. Treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. Thankfully, we at least give you an easier way to begin that journey if you go to keeps.com/fatman to get that first month for free.
Don't feel alone, man. If you're sitting there going like, oh, I'm going through something nobody understands. I got to wear backwards baseball caps, even goofy, funny ones to distract from the fact that I'm not keeping my hair. Just remember, you're not alone. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35, man. So get your sex in before then, kids, because once you lose it, nobody wants to keep you. You heard what I'm saying? More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. I know 1 or 2 of them. I'm not going to say their names. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers both. What are you waiting for, man? If you're ready to take action, prevent hair loss, and you want to help out the show that you watch every week, this show right here, Fat Man Beyond, you go over to Keeps. keeps.com/fatman to receive your first month of treatment for free. What do you go? That's keeps.com/fatman to get your first month free. keeps.com, keeps.com/fatman. We thank the good folks at Keeps, man, for continuing to find, fucking value in this janky ass show, as they would say back east.
This is janky ass show.
That's not cultural appropriation, is it?
Janky, I don't believe so.
Gotta be careful out here. Gotta be careful out here, Mark.
Over in East Town, when they're getting their Rolling Rocks on, having some water.
Going to the Wawa. Yes, town. All right. There it is, kids. We've done the news. Give it up for the man with the nose for the news. The way that Tabitha had a nose for magic. Tabitha, what was her last name?
I don't know. I thought you were going Tabitha Soren on MTV News. Like that's a deep cut.
It is a deep cut. No, Tabitha, fucking Darren.
Bewitched?
What was their last name?
I don't know.
Darren was her dad. What was the mom's name? Samantha. Sam. Did they have a last name?
They must have.
It would be his last name, right? Because that was they had a traditional Tabitha Stevens. Thank you.
There you go.
Stevens, man. Gary Smith hit that one. Well, he hit it too, but the first one who hit Stevens was Nowhere Bound. Well done. There's somebody who wasted a lot of time like us watching fucking old TV shows.
Indeed.
All right, man. Now that we're done with the news and we're on hour 18 of our fucking show, and you bought some Manscaped, you went to keeps.com, hopefully you went to the chivery.com and bought some shirts. You've gone and bought some movies from Be Kind. We've sold you Mark, sell them your shirt quick.
The one off my back?
No, man, the other one that you sell all the time.
Yeah, embaddeledclothing.com. Get yourself a Resistance is Fertile shirt or a Be Humble, Let Motherfuckers Know. Use the code MARK15 at checkout. Save 15% off your order.
TR Morris, we do the show in real time. And so when you look at chat, you're at the mercy of whether this is a rumor or not. But have you heard this rumor that WWE might be bought by Disney or Universal?
I did hear I guess a little something about it. I don't follow the WWE, so it didn't mean much to me when I encountered it.
Interesting. Don't forget, Mark, in a world where we're sending people places to spend money and whatnot, donate to Mark's short, the Splinter short. Go to Kickstarter and hit search Splinter short. You throw a few more bucks in the coffer, man, a few more alms to the poor, and guess what? Mark's gonna fucking just give a slathering blowjob.
Indeed.
To the Snyder uncut, all over face, neck, and chest.
Jeff Jizz will be happening.
Yeah, Jeff's Jizz indeed. That's worth the money right there, kids. Don't forget Kickstarter.com. Splinter short. All right, Banff, man, get in here and do what you need to do.
Banff.
We need critical thinking. Says it looks like Kev's wearing Sweet Tooth merch. Let me tell you something. If I could, I would. If you're just tuning in, you missed me blowing fucking Sweet Tooth, which sounds way dirty than I meant it, considering the lead of the show as a child. So I'm talking about the show, not the character. What a great show this is on Netflix. Go fucking watch it. I'd proudly wear some fucking Sweet Tooth gear. You hear me? Netflix, I would totally wear a Sweet Tooth fucking headpiece and shit. Particularly if it covered up the fact that I did not get to Keeps in time. Just to keep it on brand. Keeps.com, ladies and gentlemen. Don't lose hope like I did. All right, Banff, man.
What do we got?
Your job is to find us questions. We asked JC to come in and pick 3 questions for us. This is the hot part of the show where JC's at his absolute most powerful. This is when he raises the sword of power. and he has the power, because he has the power to fulfill your dreams by passing your question forward, or the power to ruin your night by fucking giving the wrong question. So let's see what happens as we turn the show over to Scum and Villainy very own JC Riefenberg. Where did I see you on some ad for something? They were pimping you as a guest.
Some 501st. I did a 501st live stream today. I talked about Jar Jar Binks for an hour.
That's it. They were like Jar Jar super fan and FatMan producer. Title. I was like, why don't they pump the bar? Because I thought for sure it would say Scum and Villainy Cantina owner. But
yeah, I'm sure there was something political about that. Because Jen mentioned that too. She's like, "Oh, I noticed they don't pump the bar on this." So.
Well, we'll pump the bar. Scum and Villainy Cantina is open right now, kids, on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California. And within 3 short weeks, it sounds like me and Mark are going to be behind the bar doing what we do right there. But doesn't mean you can't go visit. Doesn't mean you can't go get fucking drunk, drown your sorrows amongst good geeky people. You'll never get in a fight. You think you'll ever get punched in the face in that fucking bar? Bullshit. You're going to get punched in the heart.
There's one guy who got punched in the face. I'll tell this story. I shouldn't, but there's one guy who got punched in the face at the bar.
I just had this whole pitch, and you're making me a liar.
It was one time. It was at midnight, literally at midnight, as Christmas Eve turned into Christmas Day, and 2 dudes walked into the bar looking for trouble and punched some poor nerd in the face and knocked him off his bar stool. He was just sitting there doodling by himself. And our bartender jumped over the bar to protect him. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
When the wasn't a regular
camera.
He just came in to fucking hit somebody.
It was just 2 people looking to cause trouble, and we were like the only place open on Hollywood Boulevard that night.
Somebody shit in his stocking is what happened.
Somebody got coal in a big bad way.
I also got.
I guess it's good for the image. JC wants you to know there's always a chance you could get punched in the face.
Well, once in 4 years.
Captain America will leap across the bar and save your ass.
I'll also say I got a tweet this morning. It was just sent to me. Usually when I get tweets, it's all 3 of us. I got a tweet. It was just sent to me from Liquid Skinner on Twitter, and he says, "The BAMF thing is so obnoxious, I've had to give up listening to the podcast." I was like, everybody else loves it. But we found the one guy.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of hate in your heart to be like, not only feel that way, but to also let you know. And let you know personally. He didn't dial me and Mark in, man, like to see if we co-signed. He was just like, "Hey, BAMF man, you ruined the show for me."
I can't watch anymore. I told him, I said, don't worry, we'll be back in the bar in a few weeks. Come back and visit us.
He's one of them fucking BAMFists. You don't need that in your life. What a good. All right, let's hit it.
Chris Gerard. If Kevin and Mark were to do a comic book PSA, what would the message be, and which superhero would you have deliver it?
I'm doing a comic book PSA.
Is it a PSA about comics, or is it just using comics to?
No. Yeah, it's like what Captain America did in the bonus features, or what used to be at the end of every Masters of the Universe.
This is kind of cruel, but I would have Batman promoting the theater district. Because like he'd really have to believe in it, you know, to be like, the theater, it's worth seeing your parents killed over.
As Batman. So it's very like, hey kids.
That's how you reopen Broadway right there. That's Gotham's I Love New York campaign.
You should go see Kinky Boots or Hamilton or that Waitress show. The theater's great.
I was a big fan of Jagged Little Pill. I'd risk an ant for that movie. A Book of Mormon. I'd risk my parents again. All right. That's me. What about you?
I am trying not to say the Punisher doing an ad for gun control, but I just said it.
That's good. That's very good. Robert Mills in the comments section threw in a tagline for the Batman theater campaign. Ready? Gotham Theater District. It's to die for.
Fun for the whole family.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Bring your parents.
Santiago Heck says Batman's other line is, people are just dying to get back to the theater. People now, I'm going to get criticized for not doing Batman at all. They're like, that don't sound like fucking Batman.
Yeah, we know. Theater of the mind.
Batman's favorite show?
Phantom of the Opera.
Cats. That joke is so sweet and innocent, kid. You can go play that for your grandma, even your great grandma. She'd be like, "Oh, he's a funny boy, that Kevin James. He's a funny boy." Bruce Osno in chat says the tagline is, "Bring your family, leave an orphan." All horrible. All right, man. What do we got next, JC? That was fun.
Bamf.
You just irritated one more person who's like, I quit this podcast.
They're not listening already, though. I can call him out because he's not listening. Let's see. Rich but not wealthy says, if Kevin and Mark were superheroes, what would they have on their jersey costumes? And he says a blunt is too easy. So what would your superhero costumes look like?
I mean, kids, this is a no-brainer. I did it for like a decade. I wore my own face on my fucking jersey. the Bob Hawks logo. For years, I literally wore that on my chest, wore variations, various pictures of myself on my chest if it wasn't on a hockey jersey. Later on, it was a t-shirt. So my superhero outfit would probably have, fucking my face on, if not that Bob Hawks logo. Yeah, I'm a brand whore. And there came a day, I don't know when it was, but there came a day where I was like, why am I wearing a Star Wars t-shirt? I should be fucking promoting my shit. And in the beginning, I used to think, oh, it's tacky to wear your own shit. And I'm like, how can you ask anybody else to buy one of your t-shirts if you're not willing to wear it and shit? So brand management department, I know it wouldn't be good to help me keep a secret identity, but I'd wear my own face on my chest.
I'm gonna shoot him twice.
but that's the thing, just like fucking Frank Miller wrote in The Dark Knight Returns, Mark, because I put my face on my chest, I put a bulletproof fucking target under it, because that face is the target. Like, I'm like, what do you think? I'm insane putting a bright yellow light on my chest? I give them something to shoot at. So that's the fucking philosophy. I'm stealing Frank Miller's philosophy from Dark Knight Returns, which was still to this day captures my imagination, that somebody bothered to explain the yellow oval. That was his explanation. He was like, why do you think I fucking wore yellow? So that people would fire right at my fucking chest, which he's got a big bulletproof plate under it for and shit. Such a great idea. So anyway, I'd steal that idea because, as we all know, I'm not very original. I just rehash shit. And that's a great thing to rehash. It'd be so tasty second time around.
Nice. I feel like, okay, I would do the skull from Hamlet, poor Yorick, his skull, and then the crossbones are two fountain pens.
Ooh, that's a good hockey jersey. Well, that's a good Marc Bernardin shirt to make next.
There you go.
Somebody
I've been looking for an idea.
Up, or you bring a artist on to draw that, man. But there you go. That's your insignia right there.
That'll be the logo for my production company.
Yeah, man. So the idea is it's York skull, like a last poor York, and the crossbone pens are two writing pens.
Yeah.
And it's called I Love Booty Productions. How far does the pirate themes go, Mark?
Bootylicious.
a bootylicious. Movies so good. Movies. What is it? It's like the Smuckers with a name like Bootylicious.
It's got to be good.
These movies have got to be good. I like that. That was fucking dope, man. People aren't getting the most well thought out answers, but they're true answers.
We're not lying here.
And he just came up with a brand new shirt that you'll be able to buy. Where do you make your shirts?
Yeah, embaddeledclothing.com.
There you go. Get them working on that shirt. I bet you it happens before the Jeff's Kiss shirt fucking happens. I asked Jordan this week again. I was like, hey, man, because somebody tweeted me. They're like, am I going to see a Jeff's Kiss shirt before I die? And so I forwarded it to Jordan to be like, hey, is this guy ever going to see a Jeff's Kiss shirt before he died? And she said, they're ordered. So hopefully next
Jordan's
week.
like, is he sick?
It's like, I didn't think to ask.
What's the timetable here?
Hopefully soon, within the next 2 weeks or something. Boy, will they be worth the wait. Poor Nate. I asked him to draw it like fucking a year ago. We've both been trying to make this shirt happen for so long. Anyway, Vamp Man.
Last question.
Irritating somebody
Bamf.
first and losing another viewer. I bring you back to do what we need you to do. Give us the third. And when I say third, I don't mean turd. Give us the third. Do you know in Canada, I think it's Canada, they don't call the AD the third AD because it sounds too close to the turd AD. I think that's in America too. That's where the term second came from. So there's a first AD, the second AD. There used to be a third AD, but it sounds too close to turd AD, so they changed it to second.
What's with the fucking super sensitive third ADs? Like, we haven't outlawed the word third any place else in the world. There's still a third floor, there's still a third base, but these guys are like, it sounds like turd.
Because it was known bully Evel Knievel, Mark, who walked around in the 70s and called them all turd ADs. And people are like, ooh, Evel Knievel. I don't know, but that's not true.
I also feel like if anybody was going to be sensitive about their title, it should be the associate producer.
The ass prod.
The ass prod.
Very
or
true.
the fucking best boy is still just going to be the best boy.
Even as a grown-ass man or a woman.
Indeed. Just, you're the best boy. But no, these fucking ADs are super precious about the potential. It's like, what should we name the boy? Something that doesn't rhyme with fart. Bart?
With that all said, here comes the second question, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see. T.R. Morris wants to know, what is your favorite movie sequence that is scored to a rock song? So the example he gives is any of the numerous Martin Scorsese things scored to Rolling Stones.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll let Mark go first. I'm always hogging the mic.
I think it's gonna be
Long time till touchdown brings me back. I'm yet to find I'm not the man I think I am at all. Oh no. I'm harder man.
It's Steelers Wheel Stuck in the Middle with You in Reservoir Dogs. When Michael Madsen cuts a dude's ear off. Like, I think that the song is great. I mean, of the people who do needle drops as part of their score, it's Scorsese and it's fucking Tarantino are very high up on that hill of people who do it incredibly well. And I think that's my favorite version of that. So yeah.
That's a legit answer. That's good. For an opening credit sequence, I think the use of "Come and Get Your Love" at the start of Guardians was about as pitch perfect as a needle drop use of a song goes. But let me think. In terms of a song in a movie where the scene is cut to it, this is a lame example, but one of my favorite examples of this still influences me to this day is an episode of Moonlighting where David Addison was following Madeline Hayes' dad because she thought he was having an affair. So like David was casing him, and they used the song, or it was about him casing his own father. I can't remember. It was somebody's father. I think it was Maddie's father, because they did an episode with David's father, and that was Paul Sorvino, ironically enough, is the father of Bruce Willis. And that was when his dad was getting married. I think the storyline was that David slept with his wife. Like, I was drunk at a bar and we had sex. The other one, when Maddie thought her dad was having an affair, David Addison follows him around Los Angeles, and they play Papa was a Rolling Stone, my son. And it's just well cut to it. And that's such a great song. So much so that I stole that idea. And I wrote a thing recently for HBO Max. And like I rarely write music into something, but I wrote that into it for the same kind of cat and mouse sequence, or somebody doesn't realize they're being followed, somebody doing detective work sequence. But that's probably not a very popular example to use. So let me think. I mean, this probably don't count either, because it's not really cut to, well, maybe Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young. At the end of Streets of Fire. You know, it's well cut as fuck. It's literal storytelling with songs, and you're also seeing the climax of the movie, and the hero, spoilers, walk away from the woman he loves yet again, as he did years before, and they're star-crossed, and she is committed to her life, and he has to go back to his, but you know they'll meet again one day, and they never fucking did. We never got to see Ellen Aim again. I would watch a fucking sequel to that movie set now with Diane Lane the age she is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Bring back Michael Paré, get right back to them Streets of Fire. Willem Dafoe's still alive. Amy Madigan's still around. You can literally, Rick Moranis is here. We still have time, Mark. We still have tonight. And tonight is what it means to be young.
Indeed.
Okay. Many examples.
I also feel like shout out to Thor Ragnarok's use of Immigrant Song.
Yes, absolutely. Look, it's grotesque. I was going to name a number of times I've done it, like with Tusk. I think I did it pretty well. But regardless, you're absolutely fucking right. The Immigrants, twice.
Twice. 2 times.
Twice. Yeah. Could you imagine? It's like amazing. You get fucked well once, but then twice in the same movie, the same song. That was a great question. Yielded some great fucking results, man.
Bamf. I'll drop mine. The Touch in Transformers, the movie, 1986.
Look at you playing to the crowd. Well done, man. You're trying to win back that guy who quit the show with you.
But also, I really liked, and because I got to see the backside of it, in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, the movie scene, I enjoyed. It was you and me and Liz and Jordan and the music supervisor going through, because we couldn't use Bad Medicine again, going through alternates, and I was dropping my 80s knowledge and completely outed myself as an 80s hairband fan.
That blew everybody's minds.
So I enjoyed that, and I also remember you cutting that scene, and then like sending it to me, and then like the version of the song was different, so we had to recut it.
Remember that? Yeah, that's right. Because I cut to the original version of the song, but the song that we got wasn't the original. It was like cheaper because it was the re-record, but because of that, it was like off in places for the edit and stuff. But yeah, we got a good price on that. Whereas Tusk cost $250,000 just for the fucking song. So I edited the shit out of that montage to every beat. I'm like, we better make this shit work. I would also point out the closing number of the Muppet movie, where they're like, life's like a movie, write your own ending. That whole song that leads up to that and shit. But that's not cutting a movie to a song. Now I'm just naming songs I like.
Yeah. Goodbye Horses.
Ooh, oh, and fucking so memorable, right?
Yeah, don't forget that shit.
Yeah, one of the best, most memorable uses of a fucking needle drop in movie history, and you know, not because it's like, oh, it's so warm and wonderful. It's like,
Nope.
And also, and not because like the dude tucks his dick back. That was just hot. It's more about that there's someone screaming downstairs. Like you can't hear that song without thinking of like somebody trapped in a well, like fucking with a dog and a fucking chicken bone in a bucket and a fucking, you know, waiting to die at the hands of a guy who's going to turn you into a skin suit. Like that, could you imagine if they'd used like "Don't Worry, Be Happy" and they would have ruined that song forever? People would have been
whatever song they chose would have been just destroyed.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Wait, so we answered these questions 3. That means the show's at an end, isn't it, Mark?
Snicked, got all 3.
We started at about 4:30ish, and it's now like 12 o'clock West Coast time. No, it's only 7. We've only been going for like 2.5 hours, but fuck. Well, yes, 2.5 hours. Yeah. So that's enough. That's enough show.
It's a decent sized show.
Now we're just like overly fucking. At this point, they're like, you've already come a few times, and you're like, oh, just finish up already. Fuck.
Yeah, no, just you're rubbing yourself raw at this point.
Yeah, we're sorry. We'll just we'll come up, we'll pull out and finish off over here. Sorry, it's
we'll go in the shower.
Yeah,
we don't both need to be here.
Looking like old men who have had this problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you've enjoyed yourself here with us on FatMan Beyond. It was a tough week to go without you guys last week, and gals, of course, but great to be with you back here this week. Don't forget, Geeked Week on Netflix is happening this week, so you're going to get a chance to see some things that me and Mark worked on a long time. We've been talking about for a long time. You've seen some still images. Now you're going to see images move real fast.
That's how animation works, you guys.
He's absolutely right. But don't forget, you'll see that, and I can't wait. But we might see some Sandman shit. Like if we're showing some Motu shit, maybe they're showing some Sandman shit. So they got some cool shows listed that they're dropping a bunch of like panels for and previews for. So it's happening. I think it starts on Thursday. All over Netflix Geeks social media. So if you're a Motu cat, you're curious about Motu, that's where you're going to get a first look this week, kids.
One of the best things I saw on the internet this past week was Neil Gaiman responding to people who were unhappy with some of the Sandman casting announcements. Namely, that there's a black actress playing Death.
People got mad at that?
People got shitty about that. And so somebody goes,
kidding, Mark. I mean,
as one can imagine, people got shitty about it.
They got mad about the Human Torch, you know, when Michael B. Jordan played the Human Torch for that minute that everyone forgot about because then he became Killmonger and stuff. I'm sure somebody bumped into that. I didn't at all. The only thing I thought when I saw that name, I was like, is that Mary Ann or Mary? Wasn't there another woman actress named Jean-Baptiste?
Marianne Jean-Baptiste.
I was wondering if that was her kid, if there was any relation whatsoever. But
she could be.
She looks fantastic, and like, you know, she got beautiful eyes, and that's what you want in fucking Death and stuff. But like the one that like surprised me, unfortunately, sadly, that did not surprise me. We've seen that kind of reaction before. The reaction that surprised me though was when they went after his casting of Despair, and you know they like Neil was like, you know, she's been non-binary, or not she, that character they have been non-binary since I created that character. And then I remembered reading that character, and that was a big point of it. Like that it was this kind of genderless. And so he like, you know, the guy was like, I was doing this shit in the 90s, kids. Like,
yeah, my favorite was some guy came at him for casting a black actress's Death, and his logic was it would be as if you cast a white actress to play Mazikeen, which is a character that's on Lucifer, and he was like, yeah, man, Mazikeen was white in the comics. We changed it to be black for the show. Clearly, you've never read the books, but thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the show. But it's always fun to watch people try and, you know, Neil-splain to Neil his own work.
Neil-splain. It's just, I mean, and look, I bought issue 1 of Sandman off the rack, cover price. So I've been on the ride since the get-go. Took a chance on the weird cover and shit, looked like a fucking photograph more than artwork or whatever the fuck, and discovered, fell into a world that not only stole my heart, enriched my work later on. You don't get to Dogma unless I fucking trip over, Sandman earlier than I wound up writing that movie. So that's a long way of saying I've been waiting forever to see a Sandman anything. And I don't bump into a single fucking piece of the casting. When that cast Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer, I was like, that fucking rocks.
Give it to me.
Oh yeah, like I'm happy with all of it. I don't bump into fucking any of it, and I can't wait. Who's playing? It's not somebody who's super famous who's playing Morpheus, right?
Yeah, I don't remember Tom Sturridge.
McAvoy in the podcast, but not in the TV show.
Correct. Yeah.
Did you see that fucking Patton Oswalt is Matthew the Raven?
Yeah. And the story behind that was adorable. That like at one point Patton, got himself online at some San Francisco bookstore to buy a copy of like Doll's House signed by Neil Gaiman. And now he's like, 30 years later, whatever the hell it is, I get to play fucking Matthew the Raven. This is, who can tell how life is going to work itself out?
The Gorsey pointed out wisely, people got mad about Keaton as Batman. He's absolutely right, kids. There was no internet in 1988 or 1989. But in 1988, shit, it might have even been late 87 when they announced the casting of Michael Keaton as Batman. Holy heavens, were people fucking angry. There was no internet, and people were so angry, it broke the non-existent internet. And they were like, Mr. Mom as fucking Batman, what are you nuts? And this week we all jizzed our jeans over a photo of Michael Keaton's bat insignia with a little fucking bullet flash on it. So
yeah, there's a litany of casting announcements that brought ire from fans. Hugh Jackman as Logan, as Wolverine, was greeted by, he's too fucking tall. Like it should be Bob Hoskins, not fucking Hugh Jackman. I mean, Tom Cruise is the star.
Bob Hoskins, a fine actor, but that's not the Wolverine I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise as the vampire Lestat. Anne Rice hated that casting until she saw the movie, and everybody was kind of won over. Like we do this every couple of years.
Truier IE pointed out, same goes for Heath Ledger. That's right. Here in our lifetimes, kids, like we saw fucking when they cast Heath Ledger, people were like, Knight's Tale? What the fuck? And he turned in one of the greatest, not just Joker performances, or not just comic book movie performances, one of the most captivating performances ever fucking recorded on film. He won an Oscar for it. I don't know if that matters to anybody, but he got an Oscar. I mean, sadly, it was after he passed, but he got one because the performance was so like fucking great. Yeah, that's nuts, man. All right. Is that it?
That's it. Now we're just humping.
We are. That's what we do on the show. We hump. We can't hump. Remember that scene from fucking Carlito's Way? And it was, what's his name? It's Vigo.
It is Viggo Mortensen.
Mortensen, like, and he comes to see him and he's in a wheelchair and he's wearing a fucking recording device. He's like, I can't dance. I can't hump. And I think he was like, he had like an accent and stuff like that. I mean, but so wasn't Al Pacino?
Yeah, a Cuban.
And he's
not.
Well, those were different times. In a world where you could cast fucking what's his name, John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Hollywood's long list of dodgy casting choices.
Not us, kids. Not us. I saw your cast, man. Fucking looks fucking. We talked about it in the other episode too. But
yeah, man. It's
enviable cast right there.
We got a couple of roles still left to be filled, but We're aiming higher than we have any right to aim, but
Worth it. You know people who know people.
Know people who know people.
Don't forget, kids, fly over to Kickstarter, pun intended, so you can look up Splinter Short.
Indeed.
Mark's first directorial his effort. Couple bucks away from hitting the $200,000 mark, where Mark then just goes Snyder uncut all over his.
I do. I will hold court in Scum and Villainy. We will sell tickets for said affair, and you can watch me just fucking put my knee pads on and get sloppy.
Bald Bulldozer wrote TMZ headline: Kevin Smith says Viggo Mortensen can't hump. Yeah, that's a movie line, kids.
I can't hump.
All right, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is, kids. We hope you had a good time. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back to do this next weekend. Next weekend, we'll be talking about Loki.
Yes.
We'll be talking about the Masters of the Universe Revelation, whatever it is that is seen in Netflix Geek Week. And we'll be talking about anything else that matters to you, me, him, everybody. Listen, kids, it's all the Blues Brothers right there. Give it up for our Banff man himself. Jump in here, Banff man, and take your fucking plaudits. JC, ladies and gentlemen, he's got that there Scum and Villainy Cantina, which we're gonna get back to one day, but you ain't gotta wait for us. They're open right now. Go get liquored up. Go get liquor or lick him. Don't matter at the Scum and Villainy Cantina.
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
How are you guys celebrating Pride Month at the bar?
We're not allowed to do anything because of COVID, so we are there.
We're selling alcohol.
Yes, but with open arms and welcoming everybody in. But we do that every day. So
that's true. What do you mean because of COVID? You're not allowed to do functions and stuff?
We're not allowed to do any functions. You're basically not allowed to do anything. And we're I just got a message. We had a line out the door before we opened. We had a line to get in today. So
look at that shit. Look at your fucking first world life. Fucking you're talking about in your basement here while you're fucking making your millions in your goddamn bar. You're like a Robert Kirkman and shit.
the millions. Yes.
Give it up for JC, ladies and gentlemen. He's the one that pumps you up into your fucking living rooms, me and Mark and shit. But there ain't no show without the guy in the Bat Cave. Look at him. We didn't even comment on that. That's a fucking sweet background, man. Could you imagine if you'd showed a picture of that to yourself, like in childhood? Like one day, this is what you do for a living. What?
You sit in front of dumbass backgrounds and crack jokes.
This is fucking, that's it. Give it up for the great Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to our sponsors. We're the hosts. The good folks at Manscaped.com, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Lawnmower 4.0. Shear your nuts, for heaven's sakes. As well as the good folks at Keeps.com. Don't forget their promo codes, and I'm sure there's a link somewhere in chat that'll get you there more easily than me saying that shit to you over and over again. That, ladies and gentlemen, is FatMan Beyond for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time. Same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's Kiss.